Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray.
I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently.
Former federal prosecutor Scott Fredrickson on what he thinks is a strong case against Tyler Robinson.
What we seem to have is three separate admissions, once with his roommate or romantic interest, a second time with his chat group on Discord, and third, it looks like also impliedly so with his parents. So there's no stronger evidence in front of a jury than a defendant admitting that to other third parties. On top of that, we have very strong physical evidence.
Authorities say DNA on the trigger of the rifle matches that of Robinson. In New York, a judge dismissed terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. CBS's Jerika Duncan reports.
The judge's decision to drop two of the charges brought cheers from a supportive crowd gathered outside the courthouse.
What do we want?
Free healthcare!
When do we want it?
Now!
Mangione still faces second-degree murder charges in state court, as well as a federal case that could carry the death penalty.
FBI Director Kash Patel was before lawmakers today in a contentious hearing that touched on the political violence and other issues. Here with Senator Adam Schiff.
I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of inmates.
Not in the weeds?
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you, and we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th.
Actor and director Robert Redford has died. CBS's Steve Kathan has a look back at his career.
For decades, Robert Redford was the essence of big screen charm.
I'll jump first.
No, then you jump first.
No, I said.
What's the matter with you?
I can't swim!
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid with Paul Newman launched a string of iconic roles stretching from the 1960s into the 80s.
I'm Bob Woodward of the Washington Post.
There was All the President's Men in 1976 about Watergate. Redford was also an Oscar-winning director, the force behind the Sundance Film Festival, and involved in several environmental causes.
His publicist says he died at home at Sundance in the mountains of Utah. He was 89 years old. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, we have new details in the alleged assault at a city-sanctioned homeless camp. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. It's getting busy out there. Our 3 o'clock hour is starting off with our normal backups plus. Linwood to Seattle, a 25-minute commute. You're packed at Ravenna down to I-90. North 5, heavy approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. This backup is adding to our backup eastbound on the West Seattle Bridge where it jams up at Highway 99. Now, Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett, you're looking okay. Both are 40-minute trips. Bellevue to South Center, a half hour. It's packed from Southeast 8th to Cold Creek Parkway. Northbound 405 through Renton is packed from the Maple Valley Highway up to Northeast 44th, where traffic comes to a screeching halt. I'm not seeing any blocking issues from my camera view. Haven't seen any reports on this yet, but you're sitting in a 3-mile bumper-to-bumper backup. Seattle to Federal Way, you're at 45 minutes. It's really thick between Interurban Avenue and 516. And out toward Falls City, State Route 202 remains closed in both directions between 324th and South Duffy Hill Road, where fire crews are on scene of a house fire. That's a 2-mile closure. Still no estimated time to reopen. The fire is out, so hopefully this will reopen soon. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Charges should be filed tomorrow against a man suspected of assaulting a girl at Tent City 3 in Seattle's Mount Baker neighborhood. Casey McNerthany is with the King County Prosecutor's Office.
It's possible that they refer a child molestation or they may refer rape of a child. We'll see what we get from Seattle Police on Wednesday.
More from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
According to court documents, the girl and her family had been living there for about 2 weeks. She told officers she was assaulted twice, once on September 11th and again the next day. Another resident saw the suspect trying to lure her into his tent and stepped in. Police arrested the man. The girl identified him and described the tent. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Residents and business owners in Seattle's Little Saigon have come up with a 15-point plan to save the neighborhood from persistent crime, they say. City Council President Sarah Nelson says it includes a new public safety and services center at 12th and Jackson.
Because the people here who want help don't know where to go, and the people that are giving help aren't acting in a coordinated fashion. That is a no-brainer.
The plan also seeks more police in the area and stricter enforcement of existing law. Teamwork saved a man's life during a comedy show in Spokane Friday night. KIRO News Radio's Manufactor reports someone collapsed from a heart attack 10 minutes into Drew Lynch's set.
Lynch, a.k.a. the stuttering comedian, says people in the crowd quickly cleared space and jumped into action. The man had no pulse for 5 minutes but survived. Lynch posted an emotional video on Instagram calling it a miracle and said it restored his faith in people.
The fact that I just got to witness a village, basically, of people just working together.
According to the Spokesman Review, Lynch visited the man the next day in the hospital and said he was in good spirits, cracking jokes and talking about his job.
Thank you, Spokane. You should be very proud.
Amanda Factor, KIRO News Radio.
Strong winds today are stirring up a reminder of Mount St. Helens' explosive past. Commercial pilots flying near the volcano say they're seeing airborne ash. National Weather Service says the winds are kicking up loose volcanic debris left behind by the 1980 blast. Weather update now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are sunny today and on the hotter side. Right now, mid-80s in Seattle and Everett, 87 currently in Olympia. Tomorrow, we're back into the 70s. We also have a red flag warning in effect until 11 tonight. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Quick point of privilege. Quick point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Guys, I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but
all we do is
just
chatter.
keep the chatter to a minimum. It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Okay, is there a speaker against name, chapter, pronoun?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
And they wondered why the meeting didn't really end on time. All right, here we go. The John Curley Show. Thank you, everybody, for being along for the ride. Diving into the news, Andrew! All right. Something amazing happened for Sue Bird.
The Seattle Storm select Sue Bird from the University of Connecticut.
Not only is she the best point guard in the WNBA, she's the best point guard in the world.
She's right now.
Nobody better ever!
Sue thrives on a team-first mentality that has made her one of the all-time best point guards. She is the WNBA career leader in assists, but it's about more than just her expert court vision. She knows people, as well as she knows the game of basketball.
Play tough, okay? Go, Ellie!
And to watch her manage a team is to observe a masterclass in leadership.
In a year, we will never forget the Seattle Storm of your 2020 WNBA champion.
Hit it, Joe.
I think the most talented person who's here is the guy I'm going to introduce, and it's John Curley. I wish I could coach him. I don't know if he can hit a shot or whatever. All that I know is he would play his butt off. My good friend, John Curley.
There we go. By the way, that's my ringtone right there, Coach K, just to show you how much I thrive off the only gigantic celebrity that I know and love. You and I were at a party because Jimmy V Foundation continues to find a cure for cancer. And we were at this party, I said to you, what about Caitlin Clark? What do you mean about Caitlin Clark? And you said, Curly, you don't know anything about basketball. Let me tell you something. And then you went on to talk to me for like about 5 or 6 minutes about Sue Bird. What is it about Sue Bird, Coach K?
Well, Sue Bird is the ultimate point guard, and I love Sue Bird. I wish that I had the honor of coaching her. She took that position to the highest level, not only in what she did physically, but what she did mentally and emotionally. You know, I love her. I I think she is the absolute best. And Seattle was so very fortunate to have her as her idol, as her hero.
Yeah.
And she's the best. Again, if she was in the men's game, should be the Magic Johnson or the Isaiah Thomas or of the men's game.
She had her career ends 2002 to 2022, 6,803 points, but more importantly, 3,234 assists.
The assists, yeah. You know, she saw things that no one else saw in the moment. You can watch tape and say, oh, yeah, I saw that, because you don't have the ability to think in the moment. And her ability to think in the moment and play with courage allowed her to make plays that no one in the history of women's basketball really has made that number of plays like she has.
She, there were numerous times, and that's a long time to play. She didn't sit out any games. We used to have season tickets. We used to sit right on the floor. You could see days she was hurting, ankles and knees, because she got banged up. Not a very big player, but an aggressive player, as much as she could be. You always talk about players that play with heart and go beyond. You could see that in certain players. You coached them along the way with your career, 42 seasons at Duke. Were there players that just you knew you could count on no matter, what pains they had brought to the game that day?
Yeah, no question. And Sue understood her commitment to the team, her teammates, but she also understood as a professional her commitment to the fans. And that's why she's beloved in Seattle. She has a statue now, a beautiful statue named, done in honor of her. And I've been fortunate that I've had players like that. You can go with Christian Laettner, Bobby Hurley, Grant Hill, Trajan Langdon, Shane Battier, my current coach, John Shire. Those players, because they do things in the moment, John, you don't have to call a timeout to tell them what to do. They're doing it while the play is going on. It's one of the biggest pluses that a coach can have if you have a player like that.
Yeah, because you see something starting to develop and you want to go call the timeout, and then all of a sudden they're just a half a second ahead of you, right? So you're in that flow and they're in that flow. Having seen Sue play for all those years, I mean, diving on the floor to get a ball, right? I don't even know if players do that as much as, she would just throw herself onto that, and then be, she's got some forward that's on top of her, weighs 20, 30 pounds longer, and she's still, struggling, elbows flying around to get anything she could. Plus Lauren Jackson, the two of them work together. Just such finesse, but such power from LJ and then for Sue Bird. It's great. It is great for women's basketball to have this. And for Sue as well. I mean, for her to end this career with this sort of thing and for it to be out in front, it's just great for everybody. The reason I wanted you to have on, not only because you had talked about Sue, and I don't know if you're allowed to talk because you're the big special advisor for basketball operations in the NBA, but I also brought up the Sonics, and you said to me, Seattle deserves a team. Seattle, it's a great city. Share with our listeners your thoughts on Seattle and basketball.
Well, Seattle, aside from basketball, is one of the great cities in the world. I mean, it's a beautiful city. And I've loved every time I've been there. In basketball, though, they're a basketball city. It has a basketball community that takes care of its young. I know from the last great player I coached in college was Paolo Banchero, and he benefited from the experiences that he had with the older veteran players in Seattle. They have a commitment to the game and to one another that is just beautiful. It's not seen really hardly anywhere in the country, and there's no question that Seattle, well, you had the NBA team, anyway, and they just won it.
Good edit, Coach K. Good edit on your part right there. Nicely done. Yes.
Yeah, but they would kill it. I mean, they would kill it. I don't know where expansion is right now on the list of things for Adam Silver and the NBA hierarchy. I know they're looking at it. I know Seattle is being considered, but I don't know the time frame for that. The one thing, when you add teams, that means the other owners share revenue.
Yeah.
And not many people like to share revenue. So, when the time comes, I think they'll be right there, and hopefully they'll get that franchise back that they deserve.
We met more than 10 years ago. My goodness. It was at the Jimmy V Foundation, and I'm going to play something for you.
To me, there are three things we all should do every day. If we do this every day of our life, you're going to have, what a wonderful, number one is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number two is think. You should spend some time in thought. And number three is you should have your emotions moved to tears. Could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day.
A heck of a day from Jimmy Valvano.
I've got to go, and I've got one last thing. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind. It cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul. And those three things are going to carry on forever.
How do they carry on, Coach K?
Well, first of all, Jimmy would have loved you. And not many people love you. So I know you're lonely and you need hugs. It's really one of the things I put on my list for helping unfortunate people. And so that's the basis of my friendship with you. But Jimmy would love you because you're spontaneous, you're full of crap, you got good stuff, and you'll do whatever you need to do to make it work. And but God bless you for what you've done with the wine celebration in Napa. For all of you listeners, we raised in 27 years now $180 million at the Napa wine celebration. That figure probably would be 150 if it wasn't for you. You would be great in end of game situations.
Okay. But Coach K,
with the bid, a lot of people would just accept the bid, and then you will not accept the bid, and somehow you convince the people in the audience that they should bid more. But you're a master at that, and God bless you for doing it.
Well, I'm just a small part, and I would probably get a lot more technical fouls if they had the whistle.
You would definitely get that.
Yeah,
you get thrown out of.
I'd be out of the game in the first quarter. But more, it's that speech was, I think it was from 1993, and the Jimmy V Foundation wants to make sure that people continue to know that speech, because a lot of people, who's Jimmy Valvano? What's that all about? But on his deathbed, you were there with him, even though you went head to head numerous times against him in your college career with all of your wins. You were there, and he told you, Coach K, listen, I'm going to die, but I can't just die. I got to do something. So It was you and Bob Lloyd and the others that took his final words and turned it into probably the greatest organization that's going to find a cure for cancer. And it goes on every single year. The fight never ends. And the challenge for the V Foundation is, how do you make a speech from 1993 with those words that everybody can live by every day? How do you still make it resonate every single day so that people continue to think of a cure for cancer and the V Foundation and what Jimmy's last words meant?
Well, because it's common sense. He spoke from the heart, and his words don't know an age, a time frame, or whatever. His words know every time frame, every age, and they resonate with whether you're 20 when you first heard it or you're 70 when you heard it 25 times. It makes sense. And Jimmy, I think he had a divine vision, somehow a divine intervention. And he wanted to live beyond his life on earth. And he wanted to be a part of the team that won. He was the ultimate coach and wanting to be there when the final victory was going to happen. And the final victory will happen because we are beating cancer. We haven't won. We're winning, but we haven't won. And that's why raising funds, especially during this time with the federal government and all the cuts they're making and research grants and whatever, for everyone in the audience to understand, every penny that goes to the V Foundation goes to cancer research. We don't have to go through the Fed. We don't have to do anything. We give researchers grants, and that's the beauty of it. And we're completely endowed. How cool, how unbelievable is that when you give $1, $1 million to the V Foundation, you know that every penny will be spent with what you want it to be spent for, and that's to beat cancer.
Well, we will continue to meet hopefully every year there, doing our part for that. And then listen, if they ever get a basketball team here in Seattle and you show up for some God knows reason why, I'm going to take you out to dinner, okay? We'll take you.
Well, listen.
No, it's not going to be a nice dinner.
We'll go to a better place. Nothing against you. I mean, I watch your Verve and all that, and I admire you, but probably the places that we would go to are places that I used to go to.
Right.
And no, they're not. They're still good. Don't get me wrong.
No, listen. If you'd be sitting in the passenger seat. I'd be in the driver's seat, and I'd put the window down. So you want pickles on that? That would be the order. Okay. All right. Coach K, my best to Mickey and the rest of the family. God bless you. Thanks for coming on. Find some time for us.
All right, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
There you go. Funny story, Coach K, we're doing the thing called the Fund a Need. And, you started at $1 million, you work your way down. So he's on stage with me because he's like, I'll do this part. I'll do this part. $1 million, gets $1 million, 500. He's like, okay, give Jim, Steve in the back. You got to raise your bid card. Raise it. Come on, give it. Come on, I see you. Stop hiding. Guy gives money.
Handing out orders.
Yeah, right. And I'm up on stage and I said, no one make eye contact with Coach K. So I said, now moving on to the next level of $2,500. He said, hey, hold on. If you're too big of a cheap ass not to give, it was $1,000. Took it down $1,000. You're too big of a cheap ass not to give $2,500. Come on now, get out of here. I was like, what? Oh, but he can do that. Wow. He can do that. Coach K. All-time winningest coach NCAA basketball, 6 gold medals there with the Olympic team, 42 seasons with Duke from 1980 to 2022. Great guy. There you go. All right, Nate, taking a look at traffic.
Yeah, here we go. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both up to 50-minute commutes. North 5 filling in between the U District and Linwood. North 405, just scattered backups between Totem Lake and Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle is up to a half hour. We're seeing some slowing in Linwood now, and then you're bumper to bumper from Lake City Way to I-90. North 5 is heavy at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to South Center, plan on 35 minutes. It's packed from 520 down to the VMAC, and heavy backups now in South Center. North 405 through Renton, we've got scattered backups now from the Maple Valley Highway up to Northeast 44th. It seems we've cleared out that earlier blocking issue. Seattle to Federal Way is up to 50 minutes. It's really thick between Interurban Avenue and State Route 516 this afternoon. And State Route 202 remains closed in both directions out in Falls City between 324th and Southeast Duthie Hill Road, where fire crews are attending to a house fire. About a 2-mile closure here. No estimation when this is going to reopen. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hargan.
And I'm Matt DeFactor. Hope you can join us tomorrow morning.
We've told you about a push to bring AI to the classroom.
Denise Gosnell is the author of Tech Confidential and a co-founder of an AI startup. She's going to give us some insight into navigating AI as a parent.
Sully, of course, has traffic every 10 minutes.
Mariners on the road to the playoffs. We'll have the highlights from Kansas City.
5 to 9, Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and $250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Most roofers around here give you one option. 2 if you're lucky. Asphalt shingles and maybe metal. That's like going to a restaurant and the only thing on the menu is salad. Sure, there are a few kinds, but they're all pretty much the same, and none of them will keep you satisfied for long. I'm Jim Singletary, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, and we serve up real choices. Yeah, we do asphalt shingles, sure, but what about something more substantial, like EuroShield rubber tiles that last a lifetime? Or a beautiful, durable metal roof that can handle Seattle's weather like a champ. We even install cedar shake, stone, copper, and walkable rooftop decks. Most roofers stick to what's easy. At RoofSmart, we offer what's best for you. Now, those are what we call options. For anything is possible roofing, call RoofSmart at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com today. That's 206-487-4877 or online at GetRoofSmart.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Inside a Utah jail today, the man accused of assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk made a virtual court appearance.
State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson. The 22-year-old Robinson faces 7 charges, including aggravated murder. Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty. CBS's Scott McFarland reports charging documents allege Robinson confessed to killing Kirk in a text message to his partner.
Some of those text messages are vivid in their allegations and in their color. You can see these messages exchanged between a person and his roommate, allegedly with the roommate questioning, when did you start planning this? Did you do this alone?
Robinson is next back in court on September 29th. It is not just pain at the pump these days. Drivers here are also fed up with paying the highest prices for gas in the country.
According to AAA, Washington drivers as of September 15th are paying $4.65 for a gallon of gas. That's 47% higher than the national average. Drivers like Richard Mayo say high gas prices lead to tough decisions about ever-tightening family budgets.
Hopefully they do something soon here in Seattle with the gas prices. I know, dang, it's not that high in New York. You can go to Detroit and Chicago. The gas prices ain't nowhere near it. It's almost $6.
Some relief is on the way as we transition back to winter gasoline by the end of this month. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Prepare for big delays on eastbound I-90 between Seattle and Bellevue. WashDOT is replacing an expansion joint on the East Channel Bridge. The department's James Pauling says the ramp from East Mercer Way will also be closed for the first week of construction. That means only one way eastbound off the island.
Island Crest Way for the first 6 to 8 days of this project will be the only way to exit onto eastbound I-90 from the city of Mercer Island.
Freeway will be reduced to 3 lanes across the island for 16 days starting Thursday nights. Let's check real-time traffic now at 3:32 with Nate Connors.
All right, Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both 50-minute drives. I-5 is filling in between the U District and Linwood. You're close to freeway speeds here through most of this. 405, just scattered backups between Totem Lake and Canyon Park to get through. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. We've got crowding in Linwood, and then it's packed from Lake City Way to I-90. But at Northeast 50th, we've got a new collision taking up that left lane to add to this. North 5 is heavy at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. North 5 in the collector distributor lanes. At Madison, we've got a disabled vehicle right there in the middle lane. Bellevue to South Center, 35 minutes. You're packed from 520 down to the VMAC. And South Center to Bellevue is up to 35 minutes. It's heavy from South Center all the way past Northeast 44th. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on 50 minutes. We've got heavy volumes from Interurban down to State Route 516. And a new crash in Lakewood, South 5, just past 84th. It's been moved to your right shoulder. It's partially blocking that right lane, though, with fire crews. You're backed up to State Route 16. Tacoma to Olympia is a 50-minute commute. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Clear skies tonight. More sunshine for the rest of this week. Hot today, mid-80s across the map. Right now, 84 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance, when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. It's Home Comfort Alliance. They came out to the bar and put in a heat pump last year. They did the mini split. These guys are great. You'll love working with them at homecomfortalliance.com. I was talking to Rye yesterday. I said I was listening to the second cup of coffee there at KOZI, Community Radio. I said, what happened to you on Saturday? Like 30 seconds of music bed, just like this. on the radio. And where is he? He said, "Oh, you heard that?" I said, "Yeah, what happened?" I forgot to turn the microphone on. He was talking for like about a minute. Just happened to me. It must be genetic. All righty, here we go. It's a day in history, Joe. Okay, in 1783, the Paris Treaty is signed. 1770.
Treaty of Paris.
Treaty of Paris.
Yeah.
1777, Stars and Stripes fly in the battle for the first time. Ooh. 1919, Wilson embarks on a tour to promote the League of Nations. What a scoundrel POS that guy was.
Not your favorite.
Oh! Horrible human being. Should have stayed at Princeton. 1939, Britain and France declare war on Germany. 1928, penicillin is discovered by Sir Alexander Fleming. I think it was a mistake, too. Isn't that normally how those things work out? I think bubble wrap was a mistake. I think silly putty and
Post-it
penicillin.
notes. Viagra was also a mistake.
Okay. Thank you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go with 1939, Britain and France declare war. All right. A couple things that people might not know about. Let's go right to the end of the war. There were more lives lost. So in the 2,500 years of history recorded, it was the largest death toll ever, World War II. And amazingly, there were more, Mao killed more in 30 years, 60 million with communism. But just as far as in 6-year span, the number of lives lost. And here's the thing that people don't realize. The majority of lives lost were civilians. In World War I, 60% of the deaths were soldiers. In World War II, 20% were soldiers. 80% of the people that died were civilians. And the other weird thing was the losers, right? Japan, Italy, and Germany, they actually killed more of us than they had on their side, 60 to 65 million. And Germany and Japan were ruthless. And the most amount of people that they killed were Russian civilians and Chinese civilians, 40 to 45 million. In fact, the German army killed 7 times more people than died on their side. Japan killed 8 times more than died on their side. And it was a 6-year war and the most amount of lives lost. And now, here is a wild part of the story that you may or may not know. So, Roosevelt's in there, and he says, we're not going to go to war. We're not going to go in with Germany. We're not going to do anything against Nazi Hitler. We got nothing. We're not going to do it because they have to understand something. The United States and Great Britain were not friends. They were economic rivalries. And they also still didn't exactly like the fact they broke away from Great Britain. There was not exactly a lot of love between these two countries. So when Britain is in there and France is in there declaring war on this day back in 1939, the U.S. is just sitting back. And Roosevelt's like, nope, and I told you I'm not going to war. We're no way we're going to war. Charles Lindbergh had this whole thing called America First. No way are we going to go fight in Europe. We did it. 1917, we were in there in World War I. We are not going back. In fact, most of Americans did not want to go to a war. 7% of Americans thought they should declare war on Germany. In April 1941, still people are like, no way, we're not getting in there. Now, here's the weird stuff. Great Britain gets this Canadian by the name of William Stevenson, and he becomes a spy for Great Britain and then gets himself embedded into this new agency that Roosevelt had in place, which was basically, hey, let us know what Britain's doing. Let us know what Germany's doing. Just get the information to Roosevelt. Well, William Stevenson's like, oh, sure, no problem. And what he ends up doing is completely BSing Roosevelt. In fact, at one point, he makes a completely, absolutely ridiculous map and hands it to Roosevelt and says, look at this. Look what the Nazis are going to do. And then Roosevelt buys it hook, line, and sinker.
I have in my possession a secret map.
A secret map that's been completely made up in order to scare the crap out of America so that the rest of you rubes will want to go to war against Germany. Roosevelt didn't know it was a crappy map. He had no idea. It comes from William Stevenson.
Made in Germany by Hitler's government.
And Hitler hears this. He's like, I do not do that. We didn't do that. That's not my map. We have nothing to do with that map. What are you talking about?
That map, my friends, makes clear the Nazi design not only against South America, but against the United States as well. Nobody who admires qualities of courage and endurance can fail to be stirred by the full-fledged resistance of the Russian people. Russia needs all kinds of help. The needs of her huge armies will continue, and our help and British help will also continue.
Okay, so this guy ends up slipping about 20 bull crap stories a week into our newspapers, into our film reels. He makes up this entire story about these British paratroopers who dropped in with grenades and machine guns and blasted away at all these Nazis and took 40 of them to prison as prisoners and killed all these other people and then were able to come out as heroes. Absolute crap. None of it was true. But the British wanted to influence the American people. They thought this guy, William Stevenson, who was from Canada, could come in there and do it. And he did it. And after a while, enough of this stuff happened that the United States was like, yeah, maybe we should do this. Now, the unions liked the fact that they were getting lots of money when they were supporting France and Great Britain, but they couldn't get the full commitment of it. Well, after that wild story about the map, at that point, Germany's like, yeah, maybe we'll declare war on the U.S. Well, then Japan comes in and bombs us, and then at that point, all bets are off, and we are all in. But that guy, William Stevenson, ends up becoming the main character and the inspiration for Bond, James Bond.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
Wild and crazy stuff. Wild and crazy stuff.
Ian Fleming was the Bond writer, right?
Yes, Ian Fleming noted Stevenson's martinis were shaken and not stirred. He was installed as the M16 U.S. office. Churchill, his secret code word, Churchill gave him the secret code name, Intrepid.
So did they ever find out he was a spy before the war ended?
Yeah, later on they found out that he was in there kind of kicking stuff up. Yeah, so I guess that would be some, is that disinformation, everybody?
Fake news.
Fake news, disinformation, yeah. I have in my hand a map. I'm sure Stevens is like, yes, perfect.
I have in my possession a secret map.
Secret map.
Secret map.
Made in Germany by Hitler's government.
Crazy.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, I should have done it. And that man's name was James Bond.
That was a good one.
I hope people enjoy these things.
I do.
I'm not married to them.
Oh, come on. You love these rabbit holes.
I do.
Yeah.
All right. I'm married. I do love flirting with these history stories. All right. Nathan, how's it looking out there?
Oh, we are getting busy. Let's start you down with a collision down in Lakewood. First, South 5, just past South 84th, right around the corner there. We've got a collision blocking your right lane. You're backed up to State Route 16, Tacoma to Olympia. Plan on 45 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, taking you 50 minutes. Pretty solid along the entire stretch from 405 into Sumner. You're going to get really thick south of Highway 18. Seattle to Federal Way is a 50-minute drive this afternoon. Hefty backups between Interurban Avenue and State Route 516. As far as I can tell, this is just volume. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both keeping up with each other at 50 minutes. Linwood to Seattle's at 35. We've got slowing in Linwood, and it's packed now from North Cape down to I-90. At Northeast 50th, we've got a collision in that left lane. North 5 on the collector distributor, we've got a collision at Madison right there in the center lane. It's actually a disabled vehicle, and the main line is heavy from the Michigan curve in the downtown. Those lake bridges are all clear. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
If you're tired of uneven home heating or cooling, noisy systems, or sky-high energy bills, listen up. John Curley with some great news on how the latest technology is changing home comfort. It's called the Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System, and it's available from our friends at Home Comfort Alliance. Quilt systems offer next-generation efficiency to give you room-by-room control. That means you're not heating the whole house when you're just in the living room. Smart, right? And here's the kicker. It saves you money, real money. Quilt's advanced zoning and energy efficiency can cut your utility bills while keeping your home perfectly comfortable year-round. Home Comfort Alliance is the trusted name in HVAC for almost 50 years, and they're the flagship partner for Quilt. Every Home Comfort Alliance quilt system qualifies for maximum heat pump tax credit. Call Home Comfort Alliance today and tell them John Curley sent you. Call the comfort people today for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, we've got a new administration. What have we seen as a result at the IRS?
Well, the result that I think everyone is seeing is, unfortunately, reduction in staff.
And yet people think that because of those reductions, they're in a better spot.
Well, it's not necessarily the case, because the IRS is still going to work with the staff that they have. And in fact, their collection activity is going up.
But now is also the best time to get something done that could be favorable to the taxpayer who owes.
It's very interesting. I've had 2 cases now where that I was able to get settled with the IRS fairly quickly and with some excellent results. I think they're just trying to get any case where there's a real live person working on it through the system quicker. They're needing to handle a lot more cases. The caseload isn't going to slow down.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
Hey, it's Dave Ross. If you have joint pain, this will interest you. Wednesday, September 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you're in pain, join the free live stem cell webinar Wednesday night at 6 to learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
When I needed some work done on my roof, there was only one company to call, Valentine Roofing. Hey, it's Jake Skorheim, and when I needed my roof fixed, Valentine Roofing went the extra mile to get there fast. They got my roof looking like new again. The scheduling was seamless and easy. Even though I couldn't be there, they still got the job done and sent me all the details with a link to pictures and video from the service. And let me tell you, if your roof or gutters are not fall ready, if those asphalt shingles are cracking and breaking down from years of moss, which is what happened on my roof, if your gutters are sagging, clogged, or pulling away, you should do what I did and call Valentine Roofing. Don't trust your home to anyone else. Those leaves, needles, and branches will fall, and the rain will come. But fortunately, Valentine makes knocking out that fall checklist stress-free. They'll even insulate your attic and clean the exterior of your home. And with zero-down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. This fall, give your home the Valentine it deserves. Check them out online at valentineroof.com or call 206-ROOFING and get your free estimate today. That's 206-ROOFING.
Has it been hot in your house this summer? Maybe worried about the cold coming in this fall and into the winter? Might be because your insulation's just not up to snuff. That was my problem, Mike Salk here, and that's why I called Crawl Pros. They came out, they did a corner-to-corner inspection of my crawl space and attic, and they fixed that problem once and for all. If your home has any damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, you're bleeding money every month to heat and cool your home, but you don't have to. And even better, if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%, but you got to act now. Many of these rebates are ending at the end of this year, including the federal incentives. Let Crawl Pros come out and properly insulate your home before the cooler fall weather comes in. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the consumer man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
One thing you can always count on is a change in the weather. Time to protect your home now with the help from the pros at Integrity Roofing and Construction. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team delivers exceptional craftsmanship, whether it's a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Call Integrity at 206-202-ROOF or visit online at integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
One triple A 973 5476. Come on in, everybody. When I first heard that the Conjoined twins, they had their own reality show, they must.
They did, but it was very short-lived.
They both went to, so they are joined at the neck. So that's two heads, one body, and they both got degrees, but at different colleges.
No, same college.
Same college. So they both paid. So they were paying for two tuitions. They both graduate. So they have separate degrees. They get hired as a teacher. I think they teach fourth grade, right?
Fifth grade.
Fifth grade, right? And it's a full-time job they've gotten. And so both have individual teaching license. They were hired separately.
They both interviewed separately, yeah.
Well, no.
Well, they had two different interviews.
Okay, fine. And then they received a single salary, and they consider the single unit for the employment. So there's one person, two heads, two brains, all their vital organs they share, and they have one salary.
We're just like everyone else. We really are normal, but I'm definitely more normal than Brett. Whatever. Anyways, this is the story of our normal, regular life. Well, our normal conjoined life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So their time as students, teachers, in graduate college.
You're going to get 3 points. And I would like you to go out for recess.
Some of the uniqueness will be in terms of contracts. Is it one contract? Is it two contracts?
For licensure, they applied as two separate people, and they'll both have their own teaching license. But obviously, they have to have a job where they can physically be in the same space.
Group 2, you're going to get 3 points, and you're also going to go enjoy recess. Bye!
There's no question in my mind that they will really change the world for the better and influence lives in ways that those like myself, as one person, never would be able to do.
Bye! We are winding down with student teaching, so we only have 13 days left, which is so sad. But we're excited to graduate. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a good week. So bittersweet, but we're excited.
Yeah, that's right. So they both graduated from college. They earned degrees separate in 2012. They said that
signifying that you are the proud holder of a degree from Bethel University. Congratulations. We salute you.
Good for them. I gotta say that if I had a kid in that class, I think it'd be great. Great.
In their class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Because, at first it's going to be a shock to the kids sitting in the class. But then all of a sudden you realize, hey, it's just, it's the way they were born and this is the way they are. But, if they're good teachers, I think there would be, that's outstanding. I'm glad that they're doing this. In fact, that they get one salary, it's one employee, basically. That's the way they look at it.
Yeah, but shouldn't they have gotten maybe a deal on going to college and have not had to pay?
Bring that up with the institution.
I think that's unfair. I think they got railroaded. But I was also thinking in the age of remote learning and such, they could, have like a little cubicle and maybe teach two separate classes at the same time.
Okay, Joe. Really? So they're both talking at the same time, teaching different things?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Did you dabble in a little bit of something extra before you went on the air today?
No, I didn't. But I also would like to point out that they just had a baby.
Okay.
And one of them's married.
It's the married one had the baby.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Joe. Here's the mind reels. Here's Nate over there checking traffic for you.
Yes, sir. It's a busy afternoon. We did clear a few earlier crashes, though. Lakewood is one of them. South 5, just past South 84th. You're still backed up to 7:05 there in Tacoma. Tacoma to Olympia, pushing an hour. We're up to 55 minutes. We cleared our collision South 5 and Northeast 50th in the U District. Already the backup has dwindled down to Lake City Way. Linwood to Seattle, you're at 35 minutes. We cleared our disabled vehicle on the northbound collector distributor lanes. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both 50-minute commutes. I-5 is crowded between the U District and Linwood. 405 has backups between Kirkland and Bothell. Bellevue to Renton plan on a half hour. It's slow at 520 all the way down to the VMAC in Renton. Renton to Bellevue, also a half hour. It's pretty thick as you approach State Route 167 through the S-curves. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Now that's how you do it.
He's going left side. He's got some blocking. He turns upfield. He's down inside the 5. Touchdown! Seahawks!
We're all in a good mood this morning because of all the great sports action yesterday.
An impressive road victory in Pittsburgh earns the Hawks their first win on the season.
I mean, taking care of business. What'd you say?
Yesterday's game gave me more hope in what we can do as a team. I love this.
The 12s hear the Hawks right here on KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck is about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with a team that doesn't just set up your listings and let it sit. The Novak team creates a marketing strategy that's hands down proven successful. Mike sold over 1,500 homes and guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If Mike doesn't get your home under contract within 21 days, he sells it for free. That is no commission for Mike. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Hey, it's Lori from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. Think insulation is only for the winter? Think again. Upgrading attic insulation is a popular and cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient. It's your secret weapon for staying cool in the summer, slashing utility bills, and boosting your home's air quality while keeping mold at bay. Need an attic overhaul or thinking about new insulation? Look no further. Guardian has your back. Call now and save $299 off attic ceiling and insulation, or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night. And that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
Charlie Kirk shooting suspect officially charged.
Count 1, aggravated murder.
Hollywood mourns Robert Redford.
Here's your wallet. You hired a dame to take it from you.
Historic state visit to the UK.
Rolling out the royal red carpet for President Trump.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A 22-year-old Utah man makes his first court appearance after the state files 7 charges against him, including aggravated murder in the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk last week. CBS's Matt Piper with the latest.
Utah County Judge Tony Graff asked the shooting suspect, who appeared virtually only once, to speak.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Prosecutor Chad Grunender.
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty.
The judge read Robinson the charges he faces and ended with this.
Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail.
He's next due back in court September 29th. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray earlier laid out how the suspect made his getaway after Kirk's shooting, the DNA evidence on the trigger of the gun, and contact he made with his roommate, telling that person to look for a note from him.
The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
Authorities believe Charlie Kirk was targeted because of his political expression. Oscar-winning director, actor, and indie patriarch Robert Redford has died at 89. CBS's Michael Wallace with a look back.
Redford's breakout role was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I'll jump first. No. Then you jump first. No, I said. What's the matter with you? I can't swim!
He followed that with a string of hits in the 1970s, including The Candidate, The Sting, for which he won an Oscar, 3 Days of the Condor, and All the President's Men. Redford later said he felt trapped in those leading man sex symbol roles.
It was very flattering, but it was feeling restrictive.
He became a champion of independent cinema. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
President Trump has arrived in Britain for his historic second state visit that will see him hosted by King Charles at Windsor Castle tomorrow.
I'm Vicki Barker outside Windsor Castle, where American flags are flying alongside Britain's Union Jack. What you can't see are the many layers of protection in place. Security for President Trump's state visit is the highest it's been here since the coronation of King Charles 2 years ago.
As Trump visits Britain, Microsoft vows to invest $30 billion in the UK. Ahead of tomorrow's key Fed rate announcement, stocks fall on Wall Street. The Dow closed down 126 points. The Nasdaq fell 15 points. Now this.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Coming up, an update on a disturbing case out of a city-sanctioned homeless camp. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. ProSculpt has our update. Everett to Marysville, one of our rare drives this afternoon with lighter than normal volumes, taking you just 10 minutes to make this trip. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both at 50 minutes. Linwood to Seattle is a 35-minute trip. You're crowded in Linwood and then gets really heavy at 80th in the downtown. Northbound I-5 is packed at Albro Place in the downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, looking okay, taking just 20 minutes on both I-90 and 520. Bellevue to Renton is a half hour. It's slow from 520 to the VMAC in Renton. It gets really thick about mid-Bellevue through Factoria. Renton to Puyallup on 167 up to 55 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia plan on 50 minutes. ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Charges are expected tomorrow against a man suspected of assaulting a child in a city-sanctioned homeless camp in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch has more.
A 5-year-old girl disappeared from her family at a communal gathering spot at 10 City 3. Her mother tells Seattle police when the child reappeared, she complained about pain in her private area. Police took her to Harborview to be examined. And Casey McNerney with the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says officers arrested a 46-year-old man who'd been seen trying to lure the child.
Asked for a high bail of $750,000. We're thankful that the judge agreed with that.
A 10 City resident who first called police reported the girl was 9, but the child's mother confirms she's 5. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
One person is dead, one person arrested after an apartment fire in Issaquah. The fire broke out just before 8 o'clock this morning near Cougar Mountain Middle School. Officials are calling it suspicious. No word yet how that fire started. We have new details now about the death of a hiker in the Enchantments. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun with details.
The Chelan County Sheriff's Office received the missing person report a week ago. The 37-year-old Andrew Wong from Long Island was supposed to go home a couple of days earlier, but never arrived. His last known location was the Dragontail Peak area of the Enchantments. Deputies found his car near a trail. The Chelan County Mountain Rescue Team was called into search, and they found Wong's body a short time later. Crews believe he fell to his death.
County and city leaders went to Seattle's Little Saigon neighborhood this morning with a focus on tackling crime in that neighborhood. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch was also there.
Community members have now put together a 15-point public safety action plan to save Little Saigon. King County Councilmember Claudia Balducci says now is the time for action.
You just continue to see really serious drug use, public street crime, homelessness. It is a neighborhood really under siege.
The plan includes increased police patrols, enforcement of existing laws, and a community service and safety office at 12th and Jackson. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
And your weather update is brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Gusty along the foothills right now. We'll see some wind gusts up to around 30-40 miles per hour. The red flag warning in effect for the region until 11 o'clock tonight. Hot weather as well right now, 84 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Yeah, I'd like to see what happens. Oh, thank you, Jacob. That's encouraging to go on the air from our manager. Here we go with the John Curley Show. Oh, hey, YouTubers out there. Hey there, everybody. Good to see you there. You can always text us, 1-888-973-5447. Text. Oh, welcome to the show, John Curley Show. All right. Well, I was surprised to see, you just can't keep a good man down. When Jim Dever left Evening Magazine after 56 years or something like that, then he decided he wanted to do something else. Do you have the sound over there, then, Joe? Do you have that, or do I have that? Where is that?
You should have that, but I can play it if you
I
can't
don't
find
see it. I don't have it. All right. Here. Yep. Oh, here's Jim's final days at Evening Magazine.
Tonight, on a special edition of Evening.
He's going to the tippy top.
He's taken us places. Oh, yeah. Made us laugh. And let's be honest, made us wonder, what in the world is he doing now?
Punch it in. Don't leave me hanging.
Take a look back at some of
He's zany.
Jim Dever's best moments as we say so long and celebrate his 34-year career on Evening. It's Jim Dever's last call.
Woo! There he goes. And then up on my Instagram feed, Jim pops up with Kim, right? Is that what it is?
Yep.
What is
Kim
it?
Holcomb.
We have that too. We're giving you a lot of free promo. There you are.
Oh, really?
Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, can't hear it. Hang on.
Hang on.
Working the button.
Hey there, I'm Kim. This is Jim, and this is Upper Lefters.
What is Upper Lefters? Well, it's your chance to come along
Is
with
it
us
your teeth?
as we find all the fun, food, and adventure across the Pacific Northwest.
Plus, Jim makes lots of mistakes, and it's fun to watch.
That doesn't happen. Wait, take two. Be sure to like and subscribe. We would appreciate it.
Good job.
Now, should we do it again? I think I messed it up.
All right, so what do you want? I thought you were going to retire, do something productive with your life.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to retire.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us. Let's move on to our other news then. No, so you decided, I guess because you thought, well, Evening Magazine's you were doing all the fun, sort of feature stories.
Yeah.
Why not keep doing it, right?
Right. I mean, why not do the stuff I love about it and not have to do the stuff I don't love about it is basically it. You kind of, know how this works.
No, I don't.
The part you love is getting out, meeting people, telling stories, making these little movies every day.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about the part you hate. That's more better. That's better radio. Yeah.
That part I will not talk about, but you can kind of read between the lines. I mean, television, here, I won't make you read between the lines.
Okay.
Local television is under a tremendous amount of stress right now. I think all television is, honestly. Mm-hmm. And everything is moving over to the digital world. So, maybe I'll move over there, too. Why not?
Yeah, right. Because when once people were able to get their news and not have to sit there through a bunch of commercials, I remember the way it used to be set up. The a television station would buy Oprah and lose money on Oprah, but would run commercials in the middle of Oprah. Remember?
Yeah.
They'd buy Oprah for $1 million, lose money on Oprah, but then it set up the promos for the news. So the lead-in would be Oprah into your 5:30, whatever it was.
You'd
right?
have a giant audience. Usually they'd put a really popular show like that in its heyday right before the news.
Right.
And then, you'd get that great spillover audience.
And that was always by the lead-in. Then the news would come out, then lead into the next show, leading into the next show. So then when that got broken because people didn't need to sit around and wait for the news, you didn't have to sit through all the stuff to find out what the tease is, then you just get it on your phone. The whole thing fell apart. And then the programming loses revenue because there's no advertising behind it. So then they just start making more and more cuts, and then finally you get what you get, and then you leave.
It's kind of like newspapers fell under great stress and are continuing to die off as a result of classified ads going away. That was their moneymaker. People didn't realize that. Those little ads in the back of the newspaper were what were sustaining all the journalism and all the rest of it. And in television, it's kind of like those ads that you see in the newscasts, in all the local programming. That was where all the money came from. Well, now, if you're an advertiser, you think, why should I spread my money all across this general audience when what I really need to reach are, maybe women 28 to 35 who are interested in such and such. And you can do that online digitally. Right. And that's what everybody's done. They fled there. It's changed politics. It's changed, commercial business entirely. I mean, it's a revolution, really. And right now, I think for a long time, I think local TV was able to kind of escape from the great damage of that. And now it's kind of pay the piper time. And everybody's really struggling, trying to figure out how do we even survive. It is my prediction, Mr. Curley.
Okay, hang on.
Within 5 years, you are not going to have all the TV stations that you see on your dial in Seattle. There will be one or two of them missing in 5 years. So I didn't want to be one of the people who went missing.
Oh, wow. So you got out beforehand?
It's dark. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just that either. I mean,
what else is it?
That's good. I like that one. I've been doing it, for 34 years, as the video says. And at some point, it's like, well, am I going to ever do anything else with my life? I could just hang around. See, in 2 years, I'll be 2 years older. Big deal. But I'll still be doing the same thing. It's fun to get out and try something new.
I told you the other day that I took credit for something that you did when this person was so emphatic.
I do it for you all the time, too.
So emphatic. I was having pizza at the place down the street, and this person goes, don't want to bother you, but just want to tell you, God, my dad and I laughed so hard that time you were walking around. You had like a pair of sweatpants on. Looks like you put like a bunch of stuff in the back. You had like a great big butt. You were like talking about, I love big butts. And my dad, man, I just love that guy. My dad...
That was one of the most special memories we had together.
Such memories. But Dad and I just roared at you, man. We loved you. My dad and I loved you. And I was like,
it was all because of that butt.
And I didn't want to go, that wasn't me. I couldn't do it. So I was like, yeah, that was me. Yeah. That was yours. So
I take credit for your stuff all the time. People will say, oh, yeah, I met you at such and such event. And I'm thinking,
and then like, you're such an a-hole. I remember you there. And you're like, oh, that was Curly.
No, that was Curly.
Me.
Clearly Curly. Yeah.
Right. All right, so you decide that you still have a little bit of life in you. How are you going to launch this thing, and how do people find it? That's the question. And where do you do the interviews? And is it going to be just like Evening Magazine sort of features?
It's kind of nothing like Evening Magazine, but if you are a fan of the show, which we dropped the magazine, by the way, about 10 years ago.
Okay.
So if you don't mind getting up to date on that, that would be great. But it does, I think, appeal to a similar audience in the sense that we're out and about and celebrating the Pacific Northwest, most beautiful region in the world. We're exploring the fun and the food and the adventure and doing all of those things that you might see on a show like that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Kim Holcomb is my partner in this project, and she and I have worked together for many years. So we've got a certain rapport that's been built up and will be familiar to people. But I think it's a whole different medium, and that's the fun of it for me, too. For instance, we don't always have to find an interview. Sometimes you can just learn about a place and directly tell the audience about it.
And people are going to watch that?
No.
Okay.
But if you are so inclined, you go to YouTube at Upper Lefters. The name is Upper Lefters. You know why?
No.
Take a map of the United States.
I get it. I just think it sucks.
It's a great name. And you know what? We've already gotten a lot of people saying, do you have merch? I want to have an Upper Lefters hat. I want to have an Upper Lefters T-shirt. I was going to make you a T-shirt before I got here.
It sounds political.
Political? Oh, because of the left. Well, that's fine. Let people maybe think that and explore it and then realize it's not political at all.
Okay.
You know, if it makes people curious, I don't care what they think it is. Everything sounds political nowadays anyway. I can assure you there's nothing political about what we're doing.
Will it be upsetting to you? Because the thing about Evening is we used to look at the ratings, right?
Yeah.
They were slowly declining every single month.
Well, once you left, I think we got quite a spike.
That's good. Get that guy out of here. We've hated him for 15 years. But this is going to give you instant feedback. Like you put it up there and then you're like, 5 people have watched it.
You know what? There are very deep analytics you can dig into for YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. By the way, we're on all those, but YouTube's sort of the main event. And I have refused to look at them yet because we've only been doing this for a week.
Yeah.
So the thing I see like the number of followers, and even that bothers me. Somebody will say, 1,000 followers in 3 days, and I'll be like, is that good? I mean, shouldn't it be 100,000? I don't know.
Ask Joe. He knows how to work the whole thing.
Oh, no.
Don't ask me.
No?
Yeah, he probably does. And I probably don't want to know is the thing because it's too early. All I'm doing is trying to put out a good product, something people will enjoy and learn from. And there's tons of information. We cover the gamut from music to food, to outdoor adventure. And
how do people send you ideas? Because I sent you a story idea about the Vogue in Cleellum.
Yeah.
The guy that bought that place.
Yes.
That'd be a good story for you.
Yeah, and we'll probably get around to it. The problem is the crew now consists of myself and me and I.
Right.
And
so you're not making any money. How do you pay the bills? You're married. You're not one of these guys that's like dependent solely on your wife, are you?
Ding, ding, ding.
Wow.
You got it, baby. Wait, is that the Dependent on a Wife soundtrack?
I meant to hit this one over here.
Which one?
This one right here. So you're telling me right now that your wife's paying for everything?
That's right, John. No, what?
Everything?
That's not. Wait, I don't think is that working? I don't think that's working.
When's she gonna leave you?
Is this the end of the Beatles song, "A Day in the Life"?
I don't know. All right. So the name of the thing is
Upper Lefters.
That sounds like something a dentist would be dealing with.
Mm-hmm. So I'm so glad you're arguing with me about the name because it makes us say it over and over. So what about Upper Lefters don't you like, John? I mean, I think Upper Lefters is an incredibly expressive term. It describes the upper left portion of the United States.
Because you're making the person, marketing is a direct A to B.
Mm-hmm.
People want to know exactly what it is. It's not like, ooh, I scratch my head and wonder, what is that?
That is an incredibly insightful observation from the 1950s. Thank you for that.
Oh, okay. No, people want to know. Okay, so what is this? They don't want like a mystery thing. They don't have time for that.
It gets the people going.
Oh, I see. They're like, ooh, I wonder
what it is.
I wonder what.
Yeah.
What?
I'll tell you what, though. Once you get it in your head, and we did have discussions about the name, of course, when you're starting something like this, but it kind of lands. Once you've got it in your head, it's hard to get rid of it.
All right.
Just
fine.
like a plaque or some sort of tumor, it's perfect. It's going to just stay right there now.
I have one last question for you. Did you fly with the Blue Angels after I flew with them? Or you were on your
No,
own?
I only flew with the Thunderbirds, and that was early on. Were you there? Yeah, you had just started, I think, maybe, when I flew with the Thunderbirds. I never flew with the Blue Angels, and now they won't let... the Blue Angels wish reporters could fly with them, but all these media empires are terrified to let their reporters do anything interesting that they might,
You're telling me
high risk for some
the Blue
reason.
Angels come to town and the media doesn't fly with them anymore?
Well, the cool media does, but TV stations will not. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for all the stations, but I know that insurance companies have gotten their hands into things, and
I heard also they choose the Blue Angels or whoever is making the choice chooses the person if they have a certain number of followers.
I think you're right. I think an influencer is more likely to fly with the Blue Angels now than a reporter from a local TV show. That's the world we live in.
That's a sad world. I don't want to be part of.
In our day.
Gee whiz. All right. All right.
Hey, you know what our day is? Today.
I don't have a sting for that.
Upper Lefters on YouTube.
Okay, I don't even have a sting for any of that. Sorry, Jim. All right. There we go. Fine. All right, Upper Lefters. Jim Devers, dead, not dead, but almost dead, and working, still continuing to do great feature work.
Thank you. Side by side with Kim Holcomb.
There you go.
She says hello, by the way.
All right. Well, right back to Kim. By the way, I have to say there's one quick thing that when Jim goes out on the street to do all the stuff he used to do.
I don't wear pants. Oh, not that thing. Okay, don't say that thing.
And it's a shame that Evening Magazine, or Evening, whatever it was. Were you the one that gave the Evening Magazine award to Jeff Bezos? Were you there for that?
No, John Stofflet did that. I gave one to Bill Gates, though.
Okay.
And he wouldn't look at me.
Right.
We went on a boat outside his house and took a megaphone to try to give it to him.
Well, we went to present to Jeff Bezos, who won Boss of the Year, right? And we go up to him and we're like, and John Stofflet goes, Jeff Bezos, the reader or the Evening Magazine viewers have awarded you Boss of the Year, and there's like a small group of people. This is before he was, super jacked up. He's really geeky, and he goes, "Oh, that's great. Well," and he's holding it. It was a plaque, and we were so cheap we would. We would ask for it back because we only had one and we didn't have a frame for it. Remember that? It was on a sheet of paper and we would have to, it was, oh my God, it was so cheap.
Yeah.
So it would be a piece of paper in a frame that we got at Bartell's.
Yeah.
And then after we would award it to them, we would have to open the back of the frame.
And say, you can't keep the frame.
You can have the frame.
You can have the paper.
Camera. And then we'd give him a sheet of paper, right? So we give the thing to Jeff Bezos and he goes, well, gosh, this is great. I want to thank all of your readers, because he looked down and said Evening Magazine. I want to thank all of your readers for giving me this award. That's great. Okay, Boss of the Year. I really have to live up to that. Well, thanks to the readers of Evening Magazine. And we're like, oh, crap.
Yeah, there goes your soundbite. You can't even
soundbite. And then we're like, oh, Mr. Bezos, excuse me. Can I get the frame for a second? You have to sit there and take the paper out while the person's standing there. And then you're like, oh, here you go. And they're like, I don't get the frame? No, we have a limited budget and we need to use that for the next person.
For a while, we went to emailing them a PDF of their certificate. But now we actually do let them keep the frame and the certificate. Well, I say we, my former show, does allow you to keep the certificate now. It's much better now.
So cheap. Oh, my God, we use the show. Excuse me, can we borrow some electricity so we can plug the lights in?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is.
Now we have batteries.
All right. Jimmy, the name of the show is Upper Lefters.
That's right. It's all kinds of content. It's video. You got your social media stuff. You got everything, Jimmy.
Oh, here you go.
Do we have 10 more minutes?
No, you're keep going. Here's Nate, the Deacon Public Driver.
All right, Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both 50-minute commutes. I-5 is crowded from Mercer into Linwood. 405 is solid between Kirkland and Canyon Park. Coming the other way, Linwood to Seattle is a 35-minute trip. It's getting heavy in Linwood now, and then it gets heavy again at Lake City Way down to I-90. Southbound 99, you're bumper to bumper from the the zoo across the Aurora Bridge. North 5 is packed at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. South Center to Bellevue, 35 minutes. You're packed from South Center to the VMAC. These are all pretty typical backups. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. Heavy from the Duwamish Curve to State Route 516. And Tacoma to Olympia, you're at 45 minutes. We're looking at scattered backups through South Tacoma and just a brief 2-mile backup there at the JBLM main gate. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hargan.
And I'm Amanda Factor. Hope you can join us tomorrow morning.
We've told you about a push to bring AI to the classroom.
Denise Gosnell is the author of Tech Confidential and a co-founder of an AI startup. She's going to give us some insight into navigating AI as a parent.
Sully, of course, has traffic every 10 minutes.
Mariners on the road to the playoffs. We'll have the highlights from Kansas City.
5 to 9, Seattle's morning news.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So you and I have talked before about the folks who think they can do this themselves. And again, I imagine there are a lot of people who are saying, well, new administration, fewer staff members, now I truly can get it done.
Really, in this situation, I do feel really bad for the taxpayer because here you're getting a notice. You call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. And so getting through is going to be more difficult. And when you do get through, you're going to be talking to people that are not as well trained as they have been in the past.
Which makes it even easier for them to take advantage, even if it's not intended, against the person who owes taxes.
I've heard it said that they just will make up something because they want to respond to the taxpayer. And people are going to get some really bad information and they're not going to know.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly from IRG, and this Wednesday, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk all about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join the free live stem cell webinar Wednesday night at 6 to learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you. Because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, where we stand by our quality gutter and gutter guard systems with a 30-year no-clog guarantee on all gutter guard systems we install. Call today and get $250 off gutter guard installation or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The man accused of killing Charlie Kirk made his first court appearance today virtually. Sitting in front of a white wall in jail, Tyler Robinson showed no emotion as a judge listed off the charges he faces.
Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression.
Robinson now faces 7 charges, including aggravated murder. Utah County Prosecutor Jeff Gray says he will seek the death penalty. Meantime, controversial social media posts about Kirk's assassination are now coming to light. And as KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horka reports, the principal of North Creek High School is stepping away after receiving backlash for his comments.
Dr. Eric McDowell confirmed this in a letter to families. His posts have since been deleted. And in Whatcom County, the Linden School District is establishing something called Charlie Kirk Day to honor the slain conservative activist and promote what they're calling, quote, peaceful civic engagement. The district says it will observe the day each year on Monday before September 10th.
Fire crews in Kent are working to protect overhead power lines after 2 brush fires broke out in the East Hill neighborhood. Division Chief Pat Pollock is with Puget Sound Fire.
Very dangerous situation today. Humidity is down a bit, and so that tends to dry things out a little bit faster. With the breeze blowing across everything with the hot weather, tends to dry out the fuel.
And Puget Sound Energy also tells KIRO 7 TV it is sending line crews to repair damage in the Kent area. Eastbound I-90 is being reduced to 3 lanes across Mercer Island later on this week. WashDOT's James Pauling expects long delays between Seattle and Bellevue.
Cutting through Mercer Island to avoid I-90 congestion is not a viable option and only causes further issues, and it is not a faster way.
State is replacing an expansion joint on the East Channel Bridge. Construction begins Thursday night. It will last at least 16 days. Let's check real-time traffic now at 4:32. Here's Nate Connors.
Global Credit Union has the update. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett plan on 50 minutes on both routes. I-5 is crowded from Mercer into Linwood. 405 is solid between Kirkland and Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle's a 35-minute trip. It's getting heavy in Linwood, and then you're free until you hit Lake City Way. From there, it's packed down to I-90. North 5 is heavy from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, 20 minutes on 520. We're up to a half hour now on I-90. South Center to Bellevue is still 35 minutes. It's packed, though, all the way from about mid-Bellevue down to the VMAC. South Center to Bellevue is going to take you a half hour. Heavy volumes from South Center through the Renton S-curves. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 50-minute commute. We're pretty solid from Renton all the way into Sumner. Tacoma to Olympia, 45 minutes. You've got scattered backups through South Tacoma and just a tiny 2-mile backup there at the JBLM main gate. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. A hot one today, well above our seasonal average, along with red flag warnings and wind gusts until later on tonight. Right now, 85 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News live starting at 4. It's news that puts you there so you can see for yourself. News that's happening now so you're ready. News that investigates to get you answers, and news that's local because where you live matters. No more, no now on KIRO 7 News at 4, 5, and 6 p.m.
Thanks, Joseph. Well said, well read. Bucky's Auto Service Center, 16 locations, been around for 55 years. Take your car there. I've heard that if you eat certain types of food at night, it can affect what you dream about. But now, here we are. It's official. Late night cheese might be linked to nightmares. I'm going to test this tonight. Did they tell you what type of cheese? A soft cheese? A hard cheese?
Really, it's just dairy in general. Doesn't even have to be cheese.
I don't know how they figured it all out, but the Wall Street Journal takes you through the people that eat cheese, how long before you go to bed, and then eat the cheese. And then they were able to do a scientific study to see how many people were experiencing nightmares that actually caused them to have to awake in the middle of the night because it was so terrifying. So if you want to avoid nightmares, don't eat cheese. How many people were eating cheese at night?
Well, they did a survey with 1,000 people, and amongst their survey, 40% of the respondents reported that eating cheese gave them nightmares.
And then you end up shortening your life. Frequent nightmares linked to faster aging and premature death.
Whew.
I don't think I've had a nightmare in the longest time.
I had recurring nightmares as a child up to a certain age. I think it was about 9 or 10, and the same nightmare, I did something. I had like a lucid dream. And I changed the nightmare and never had a nightmare since.
So the common nightmare for most people, which I don't know why it's a nightmare, there's feelings of being trapped, right? Can't breathe. Either you're drowning or being chased, right? That's a big one. Somebody chasing after you. Somebody is in the house and they're trying to track you down. Those are always the themes of most nightmares. Or the most common one, I don't know if it's necessarily a nightmare, where you are naked. Is it the most common one is you're naked in high school and you've forgotten your high school combination to your locker?
I've heard of the naked one. I haven't heard of the combination one.
Andrew's shaking his head yes. Is that a reoccurring one for you?
That's not reoccurring, but I have had dreams like that before.
Were you nude?
I remember in middle school, the first time I had my own locker, I was petrified of forgetting the combination, so that checks out.
Wow.
Do you remember it now?
No.
Does anybody remember their high school locker?
No.
I think 17 was in there. And
you can give it out because I'm sure it's okay. Most of the books have been taken out.
I think the two numbers I remember from it were 17 and 49. I don't know what the third one was.
So you turn the combo all the way to the right twice, and then mine was 32, 14, 6. And pull it down.
Your memory is incredible.
Well, only because just this terrible fear. This is the weird thing for kiddies out there that like want a safe space. We had a thing at Archbishop Carroll, which to me, the thing that was most shocking is that the teachers did absolutely nothing about it. It was just part of the culture of the school. Freshman Day. Has anybody else had Freshman Day? Good, it's gone. The Freshman Day was the day dedicated to upperclassmen terrifying freshmen. Not just scaring them, but physically assaulting them.
Hazing them.
Right. Perfume was dumped on you. Eggs, and I'm sure they weren't Wilcox Family Farm eggs, smashed on your head. And then the other thing they would do is you'd open your locker, open the thing up, and then some senior or junior covered in acne would jam you into your locker, like just push you in there, and then others would just pour perfume on you and smash eggs on you and stuff, or take your books and just throw them down the stairs. And it was like, and it would be happening right in front of like some teacher, and they wouldn't say anything. And then we would go into Mr. French's history class. I remember the day he walks in and goes, "Smells like a bunch of French whores in here. What's going on?" Like a bunch of French whores. And we're like sitting there with egg yolk on us and covered in cologne, perfumes that they poured on us. But it wasn't any time that you could go, "Hey, Mr. DB, somebody smashed egg on." He just looked the other way. "What do you want, freshman?" It was like, I mean, it was such a weird, there was like the authority. Right, it was a purge. The authority people that were supposed to kind of protect you, just kind of like, it's part of the tradition. And I would love to know if Archbishop Carroll, at what point did they decide they were going to stop that tradition?
I graduated in the late 90s, and they were no longer doing that, either when I was a freshman or when I was a senior.
was it going on prior to that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, freshman.
But I'm sure at some point it was.
Yeah, here it is. Freshman Day. Oh, it's in the Urban Dictionary. The day when upperclassmen hunt down freshmen, usually occurring around the second week of school or homecoming.
Second week?
Yes, they would hit you early. Usually zip tie bags, and they would shut you into lockers. Yeah, and then they talk about smashing stuff on your head.
So did you do it to the freshmen?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good.
I didn't, because I was so terrorized as a freshman, even though I was older than most. I just thought, this is stupid. Why would I go? And they were, you're a freshman and you got some senior. The different age difference, the size difference. Like, why would I do that to somebody? Because they did it to me. I would never do it to them.
Sounds terrifying.
I hated high school. Hated every minute of it. I hated I played football all the way up until my junior year. I couldn't stand the smell of the locker room. I couldn't stand people whipping each other with wet towels. And that guy got ruptured. You got paralyzed. They'd whip you in the scrotum. So I would change in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I would walk off the field, go up to my 74 Ford Pinto, take my shoulder pads off, and just strip down into like my girdle, right? They used to wear girdles and stuff, which had the side pads in it, and then just get in the car and then drive over to L'Auberge French restaurant and put on my waiter clothes. But I never, and they're like, well, you get dressed in the locker room. What are you?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm like, okay, if I were gay, I'd want to be in the locker room to see all you disgusting losers, right?
Yeah.
Then I would be in the locker room with the rest of you. I'm out here because I can't stand the stink coming off all of you in the locker room. And I don't like all the hijinks that would go on.
Yeah.
So in the parking lot, right off the field, right to the car, right there. And then like a couple other people are like, hey, that's a pretty good move. So then they walk off the field. Then there were like 6 of us there in the locker room, stripping in the parking lot, stripping down.
You changed the culture.
I did.
Attaboy.
People standing up to the stink. Oh, my God. Awful.
You have stolen my dreams.
You did.
My childhood with your empty words.
Yes, thank you, Archbishop Carroll.
And good for you for not bullying the freshmen.
No, they don't deserve. What'd they do? Nothing. A bunch of French whores. What? We never even heard that. And how did he know? How did Mr. French know?
That's a great question.
Yeah, well, nobody asked him. Here's Nate over there checking traffic. Nathan?
Seattle and Everett, Bellevue to Everett have inched up to 1-hour drives. I-5 is slow from 520 all the way into Linwood now. Northbound 405 still solid from Kirkland into Canyon Park starting near 520. Linwood to Seattle has improved a few minutes. We're down to a half hour. We're slow in Linwood and then again heavy at 85th down to I-90. North 5 still thick at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Our lake bridges are doing okay. Still 20 minutes on 520. We're still at a half hour on I-90. South Center to Bellevue, Bellevue to South Center, 35 minutes. It's packed from 520 to the VMAC. South Center to Bellevue, around a half hour. We've got heavy volumes in South Center through the Renton S-curves. You'll clear out by the time you hit 30th. This is just volume. Renton to Puyallup on 167, a 50-minute commute, and it is solid now from Renton all the way into Sumner. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO News Radio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio. On 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
You know that feeling when your home finally feels organized? That's exactly what Closets by Design gave me. And let me tell you, it is a game changer and a marriage saver. If your closets are bursting at the seams, it's time to call the pros at Closets by Design Seattle. Every job is completely custom. They don't design or use pre-made, predefined, standardized parts like many of their competitors, which can lead to designs that aren't truly maximizing your space. No, with Closets by Design, it's the highest grade products in the industry. Free in-home design consultation. Affordable luxury is the best way to put it. Right now, they're offering big savings up to 40% off, plus an additional 15% off with 18 months financing and free installation. Locally owned, nationally trusted, you're getting the quality and the backing of a national brand, but with friendly local Seattle service. Go to closetsbydesign.com. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. online to schedule your free in-home design consultation today.
Hey, football fans, Steve Rabel here. You know what makes Washington State truly special? It's the people, the everyday champions who serve, care, and connect. This fall, your local credit union, WSECU, is proud to celebrate 4 of these inspiring individuals as part of Washington's Community Champions. Serving Washington since 1957, WSECU is the only credit union named a Forbes Best Credit Union 5 years in a row. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your hero today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
When the weather changes, your home shouldn't be the one left unprepared. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. We offer the strongest solutions in roofing, siding, decking, windows, and gutters, made for the Pacific Northwest. And right now, get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months or up to $3,000 off your next project. No gimmicks, no stress, just reliability you can count on. Visit stateroofing.com or call 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule your free estimate today.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The nicotine in e-cigarettes is addictive and can harm brain development. That's why I worry about teens who try e-cigarettes. Many young people use pod-based e-cigarettes like Juul, which have high levels of nicotine. And because teens' brains are still developing, they can quickly become addicted. The tobacco industry uses fruit and candy flavors to attract young people, often turning them into lifelong users. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare happens every year, but for a lot of people, it's still confusing. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Don't worry, help is on the way with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit brought to you by the Insurance Commissioner's SHIBA program. Find out what's changing and learn about your options for Medicare with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Order your free copy of the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
Getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like that family movie night your daughter can't live without. Yeah, can't do that. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Iron Man. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you can make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at homecomfortalliance.com.
At Olympic Hot Tub's Final Fair Savings Event, get a great deal on a saltwater hot tub and 5 years to pay for it interest-free. Enjoy the healing water of a hot spring spa from Olympic. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
All right, who would have ever thought that Fred Rogers, who made a very passionate presentation was he with Congress again? Because he's credited with saving PBS when he made the thing about that this is the place where kids come and they feel safe and stuff. And then the guy was like, "Well, Mr. Rogers, you got your money." And that was 1967 or something. So again, Rogers goes up and he makes another. Please, we need to save VCRs?
In the late 1970s, the Japanese company Sony introduced a new device to the United States market, and it was called the VCR. Movie studios thought that home video was going to be the death of movie theaters. So in 1976, Warner Brothers and Disney brought a lawsuit to the U.S. District Court asking for all home media technology to be banned in the United States. In 1983, the case was brought to the Supreme Court. Jack Valenti, the head of the government organization, the MPAA, the guy who literally created the movie rating system, was a staunch supporter of Warner Brothers and Disney in their efforts to get home media banned in the United States. He was quoted as saying, "The VCR is to the American film producer and the American public as the Boston Strangler is to the woman home alone." The Supreme Court brought in a very important material witness to give a testimony, and that was our man, Fred Rogers. And it just so happened that he was a huge believer in this new technology because he felt like it gave families and children flexibility and power to watch programming around their own schedules. So instead of children having to sit there and wait for TV shows to come on.
Hey, just let the Boston Strangler just go into that person's apartment.
And miss important opportunities and events in their lives. They could just tape it and watch it at their leisure. And he thought that that was incredibly important. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of Sony and the VCR, and in their landmark decision, they explicitly stated that their sole reason for this was because of Rogers' testimony.
Oh my God. And by doing that...
In the early 80s, the adult film industry was on the verge of collapsing. It's hard to imagine now, but at the time, the only source of seeing these kinds of films was going to theaters in the public.
Oh.
And more, people just weren't going to the theaters anymore. Throughout the early 80s, the advent of the...
Besides, you're so embarrassed going in there.
VCR was a huge shot in the arm for the industry, and it went from being this seedy back alley thing where...
So in a way, I guess as this guy's doing my job, Fred Rogers saves the VCR, and then the VCR saves the porn industry.
Exactly.
Sure, he wouldn't have liked that very much.
You never know.
Oh, come on.
I mean, who knows?
Mr. Rogers, he was a Christian pastor. He was a minister. Oh, come on. Really?
He probably wouldn't have publicly supported it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and allow you to besmirch the character of Mr. Rogers. You never watched him.
Sure I did.
As a kid?
Yes, of course.
Really?
Yeah, he would change his shoes and feed the fish.
Pull the sweater up and down?
Oh, yeah.
It's a
beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
There, okay, good. Just checking.
See?
All right, you know. All right, what was the name of the trolley? Or what was the name of the king?
The king of...
Oh.
King of cartoons?
It's good old reliable Nathan. Nathan with traffic. Nathan!
Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both 1 hour drives. I-5 is slow from 520 into Linwood. 405 is now solid between Kirkland and Canyon Park, and you're really thick through Kirkland. The drive through Everett, though, looking good. Just some crowding between the Boeing Freeway and Highway 2. A little more as you head into Marysville, but nothing serious here. In fact, Everett to Marysville is just a 10-minute drive. Linwood to Seattle is down to a half hour. Still slow in Linwood, but thinning out, and then heavy at 85th down to I-90. North 5 is still thick at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're up to 25 minutes on 520 where you'll jam up about mid-span. Half hour on I-90 and you're slow from East of Mercer Way all the way into Seattle. Bellevue to South Center up to 40 minutes. It's packed from 520 to the VMAC. Another backup in South Center as you approach I-5. South Center to Bellevue going the other way. We've improved a 25-minute commute. It's heavy from South Center through the Renton S-curves. Seattle to Federal Way, 40 minutes. Heavy from Interurban Avenue to State Route 516. Southbound on the Maple Valley Highway, you've got a 2-mile backup coming off 405 out to the golf course. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 50-minute commute still. Again, we're still pretty solid from Renton all the way into Sumner. Kind of scattered backups through Auburn. Federal Way, South 5 is crowded from State Route 18 into Tacoma, and Federal Way to Tacoma is going to take you 20 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Your favorite Seahawks gear? Check. Face paint? Check. The Mike McDonald preview on KIRO News Radio? Check.
We want to win the game.
Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald joins the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, in the final interview before every Seahawks game. Friday mornings, the Mike McDonald preview, only on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the guys' spirit.
This is where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
John Curley here for Longevity Medical Clinic. I have to tell you, I don't know where I would be in my life without Longevity Medical Clinic. I've been a patient for 15 years. It's so easy to get started. Schedule a free health analysis appointment online with LongevityMedicalClinic.com. During your visit, you're going to spend a full hour with your doctor to craft a comprehensive health plan tailored to your exact needs and lifestyle. I've been able to reduce my risk for serious disease like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Longevity will help you plan for long-term well-being and personalized healthcare. The approach is really simple. It's proactive. It focuses on prevention, going beyond the traditional model of just merely managing your symptoms and treating conditions as they arise. Let's face it, just because you're getting older, we're all getting older, it doesn't mean you have to fall apart. Get started with your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. That's LongevityMedicalClinic.com. Again, that's LongevityMedicalClinic.com.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Subscribe to The Reset, the podcast with me, G. Scott, and Seahawks great Brandon Mebe. New episodes are out every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
When I needed some work done on my roof, there was only one company to call, Valentine Roofing. And let me tell you, if your roof or gutters are not fall ready, you need Valentine too. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. Whether it's your roof, gutters, or siding, even attic insulation to exterior cleaning, Valentine Roofing has been helping KIRO listeners for the past 15 years. And with zero down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. So do what I did. Call 206 Roofing and get your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces. And trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 55 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. Upgrading attic insulation is a popular and cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient, slashing utility bills. Call now and save $299 off attic ceiling and ventilation, or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Charlie Kirk murder suspect Tyler Robinson faces multiple charges. Andres Gutierrez outside the courthouse.
Mr. Robinson at this time.
The prosecution ended up laying out 7 counts in total, the most serious charge being aggravated murder, which is a capital felony. The Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray said that he does intend to pursue the death penalty, which means here in the state of Utah, if he is convicted, means he could face a firing squad.
Authorities say the suspect is accused of hiding his gun and clothes in an effort to conceal evidence, as well as texting his roommate with directions to look under a computer keyboard for a message which was an admission that he had killed Kirk. The judge says for now,
Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail.
The next court date is September 29th. FBI Director Kash Patel testifies before the Senate Judiciary Committee about his handling of the investigation into the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Patel has come under fire for his social media posts in the aftermath of Kirk's killing last week, sparking confusion when he announced a subject of the shooting was in custody and later released before the suspected gunman was apprehended. Also questioned his leadership of the Bureau, including the ouster of top officials. CBS's Scott McFarland.
With regard to the firings, there were 2 more fired FBI agents who publicly said they were wrongfully fired, that it was not done according to procedure. Kash Patel defended some of the broader firings, saying these are people who were not ready to serve the FBI or fully ready to continue serving the FBI.
President Trump is in Britain for his historic second state visit.
How is President Trump's visit being seen here in Windsor? To this local woman.
It's very exciting, isn't it?
To this visiting American.
He should have stayed home, that idiot. That's my comment.
And to this visiting South African.
What an amazing guy. I think he's the best thing that could ever happen to the States.
None of them likely to actually see the president. All the royal razzmatazz is taking place deep inside the Windsor Castle complex. Vicki Barker, CBS News, Windsor, England.
It's the lowest number in 5 years. Traffic deaths in the U.S. have fallen in the first half of this year. CBS's Matt Piper.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says 17,140 people were killed in vehicle crashes through June 30th. And while it sounds like a lot, it is down more than 8% during the same time last year. And the group says it's the lowest number since 2020. U.S. road deaths jumped during the pandemic and remained high for years.
Robert Redford in the movie Indecent Proposal.
Suppose I were to offer you $1 million for one night with your wife.
Redford's agent says the actor, director, and founder of the Sundance Film Festival has died at his Utah home at age 89. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, a suspicious fire turns into a homicide investigation. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, we've got a car fire up in Snoqualmie. It's blocking the westbound 90 off-ramp to westbound 18. Drivers, you can still access Snoqualmie Parkway, so you might be able to just head up the parkway and do a little turnaround if you need to access 18. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are 1 hour commutes. I-5 slows from 520 into Linwood. 405 solid between Kirkland and Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle is a half hour. It's heavy about 85th down to I-90. North 5 is solid from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, 25 minutes on 520, about a half hour on I-90. Bellevue to South Center is up to 40 minutes. South Center to Bellevue, 25 minutes. It's heavy through South Center into the Renton S-curves. Seattle to Federal Way is at 40. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 50-minute commute. And SoDo, Seattle City Light is reporting scattered outages in SoDo and along stretches of 4th Avenue South right now. Be sure to treat flashing lights as four-way stops. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. An apartment fire this morning becomes a homicide investigation in Issaquah. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson reports a body was found inside that damaged unit.
The police chief tells me the fire is only partially being investigated as the cause for that person's death. Once the medical examination is done, that's when we'll know more. People living nearby say they heard the fire alarms first, saw the fire trucks come in, then moments later police were on scene too. They tell me this is an apartment complex where kids play and people know their neighbors.
This happened at the Rose Crest at Talus Apartments, not far from Cougar Mountain Middle School. Charges should be filed tomorrow against a man suspected of assaulting a 5-year-old girl at Tent City 3 in Seattle's Mount Baker neighborhood. Casey McNerthney is with the King County Prosecutor's Office.
It's possible that they refer a child molestation or they may refer rape of a child. We'll see what we get from Seattle Police on Wednesday.
More from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
According to court documents, the girl and her family had been living there for about 2 weeks. She told officers she was assaulted twice, once on September 11th and again the next day. Another resident saw the suspect trying to lure her into his tent and stepped in. Police arrested the man. The girl identified him and described the tent. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Residents and business owners in Seattle's Little Saigon say they've come up with a 15-point plan to save the neighborhood from persistent crime. City Council President Sarah Nelson says it includes a new public safety and services center at 12th and Jackson.
Because the people here who want help don't know where to go, and the people that are giving help aren't acting in a coordinated fashion. That is a no-brainer.
The plan also seeks more police and stricter enforcement of existing law. Strong winds today are kicking up, a reminder of Mount St. Helens' explosive past. Commercial pilots flying near that volcano say they're seeing airborne ash. The National Weather Service says the winds are stirring up loose volcanic debris left behind by the 1980 blast. Weather update now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Staying a little hot and hazy for tonight. Breezy to windy weather in the foothills this evening. By tomorrow, some cooler air starts to roll through, temperatures back into the 70s. Right now, though, 90 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
We're not over. It's not over. It's not over until I say so. We're not over. We're not over because I mean, for me, it's
this is
not
Aaron
over.
Talking about the baseball
this is
season.
just the beginning.
There we go. Come on, Aaron. Come on.
It's
over.
It's not over. It's not.
We're not over.
It's not. Okay. Time to get on there. I'll tell you what is over. There's your segue for you. Wow, after 13 years, I guess Seattle Police Department has finally learned its lesson. Right? The consent decree came in after filing what goes up to the federal government. Then they come in, and the feds come in, and they start sniffing around. And 2011, they're like, we got a problem right here. Got a problem right here in River City. And so it begins. 2012, it begins. And basically, the setup is you're going to have the federal government come in and we're going to put a monitor in place, and then we're going to watch you guys, and we're going to look at the data, and we're going to make sure that you straighten everything out there, because we've got a big problem there in Seattle. I had the pleasure of talking with Bob Sales probably about a year and a half ago. Bob, you were the former King County Deputy Prosecutor, Special Assistant to the United States Attorneys in Western District of Washington, 14 years, the City of Seattle as a Public Safety Advisor with 3 mayors, and you have such a strong opinion about these consent decrees. And the last time you were on, you punched so many holes in this. The people that were listening to you, Bob, were like, really? It cost that much money? And that's what was really going on? Are you celebrating the fact that it has come to an end after 13 years?
No, there's nothing to celebrate. I mean, before the consent decree, Seattle PD was one of the best police departments in the country. Now, after 13 years of the consent decree, it's one of the worst.
Well, there's the headline. All right, Bob, thanks for joining us. We'll move on. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, back that up. The best department, what, as compared to others? And are you looking at use of force? How do you make the statement on what facts from Seattle being best to Seattle being worst? Where were we, say, 13 years ago?
Sure. I mean, a lot of it goes back to the WTO protests. And after that, the Seattle PD did a lot of sort of soul searching and looking inward and bringing in a lot of experts. And basically, through the early 2000s, under Chief Kurlikowski, developing one of the best departments in the country. And so the department had a 3-tier civilian oversight structure. It had a comprehensive de-escalation and crisis intervention training, a very comprehensive community policing model. And I many times I went, as a city employee, went out to Washington, D.C. to hear accolades from the feds about what a great department we were. And we were so good that Chief Kurlikowski went on to become Obama's drug czar and then head of Customs and Border Patrol. So we must have been doing something right. And we were literally world experts in demonstration management. Departments would come from around the world to figure out how Seattle deals with mass demonstrations, and there were a lot of them in the early 2000s.
And we were also held up as a standard of behavior when it came to use of force. Seattle, if you look at the numbers, we were nowhere in the top 15 when it came to use of force. And there's 3 different levels of force. So here we are, we're rolling along. Other cities are coming here. We're being held in high regard. And then what happens?
Well, a series of things happened. One was the shooting of John T. Williams in 2010, which the department quickly, they had a firearms review board with a civilian advisor. The department quickly called the firearms review board to review the shooting, ruled it unjustified. The officer was told, if you don't resign, you're going to be fired. The department forwarded the case to the U.S. attorney. The U.S. attorney declined to file charges. Then they forwarded it to the county prosecutor. The county prosecutor declined to file charges. So the officer was held accountable. The department went through, again, a lot of review process and for that. There were also, this was around about this time, were a lot of cell phone videos. And there were, you saw in the news, there were some high profile use of force incidents not involving deadly force, but was on the news on repeat about, certain use of force incidents. And so the U.S. attorney at the time, Jenny Durkin, who had close ties with Seattle and was responsible for developing or recommending the development of the civilian oversight structure, she decided that there would be a pattern of practice investigation. And she got these about 33 local organizations to write a letter to her asking for a pattern of practice investigation. And so in March of 2011, the DOJ announced that they would be conducting a pattern of practice investigation, which is a statute that was passed in 1994 after the Rodney King beating, which allows the federal government to come in and do an investigation to see if there is a pattern or practice of unconstitutional policing.
Right.
And so she launched that in 2011.
And the reason this is there's the very, very high wall between the federal use of dollars, federal dollars coming into the city and asking the city to spend money in order to do federal work. So they've got this wall in place, but you can jump over the wall if the feds believe that someone's civil rights have been violated. So then they come rushing in and they start looking around. So they look around and what do they find?
Well, it's interesting because they did their investigation in 8 months, and they had a couple of experts, retired police officials, and we gave them everything they asked for. Millions of pages of documents. There was a lot of paper documents back then. They could interview anybody they wanted in the department. We were an open book. And then one night, we didn't hear anything for 8 months. And then one night in December, the U.S. attorney summons the mayor and the police chief to her office. And then they say, tomorrow morning, we're holding a national press conference with the head of the Civil Rights Division, Tom Perez, and we're going to say that you have a pattern or practice of excessive or unnecessary force, and we're going to say that 20% of all your force is unconstitutional. And the room sort of exploded because it was like the first we'd heard of it, and then the press conference the next morning, and we said, that's not possible. It's not possible that we have 20%. We review all of our use of force, and less than 1% is found to be out of policy, and much less than 1% unconstitutional. And we said, show us the cases. They refused to show us the cases. And then we said, well, we'll voluntarily implement any reform you want. They said, no, we have to force you to reform. It won't work unless we force you to reform. And the way that Jenny Durkin described it is we have to hard bake the reforms into the department. And so we spent about 8 months negotiating back and forth, and eventually, Mayor McGinn at the time decided to sign it. I argued against it as best I could. I was representing the city in the city attorney's office, but ultimately I think politics weighed out. The city attorney, Pete Holmes, and the city council at the time were very much in favor of the consent decree. So the mayor basically said, all right, I'll do it.
I'm just going to back up for one moment. I remember reading an editorial that was in the Seattle Times some time ago. I forget the professor might have been at SPU.
Professor Matt Hickman from Seattle University.
Oh, my God, bless that guy. He said, okay, show us the evidence. So you've come in here, you've said that 20%, show us where you got the numbers from. And then he dug into it. He said they spoke to people, secondhand, thirdhand sort of stuff. They concoct this whole thing that the police are completely out of control, even though just months earlier we were being held up as a beacon of how you're supposed to treat the citizens. And then all of a sudden they come up with this total BS report, which they won't show. They don't want to show anybody where it came from. There is this past history, and now it begins. So here's the question. Why? Why? Eric Holder, the 2012, he comes in, starts looking around. Jenny Durkin does this. What's the purpose of grilling Seattle Police Department, even though they didn't really have any substantial evidence to say that there was this type of abuse against the citizens? What was the motivation?
Well, I just want to go back to Professor Matt Hickman because he is really probably the first person ever to speak out publicly against consent decrees. And what he did was he just came to the city and he said, hey, I read these findings from DOJ. They don't make any sense to me. I'm a criminal justice researcher. Why don't you give me all the data you gave to DOJ and let me analyze it? So we did. There's 1,250 use of force incidents that we gave to DOJ. We gave them to Professor Hickman. He analyzed it and he said, there's no way that it's 20% unconstitutional. At best, it's 1%, and it's probably less, which is what we thought at the time. And so he wrote an op-ed in the Seattle Times, and he says the DOJ owes Seattle an apology because they have no evidence to back up their claim of a pattern or practice. And it was just amazing. So why did all this happen?
Why?
And obviously things are very different now in the DOJ, right? Under Trump, they're very different now. So I'm talking about, the DOJ under the, Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Biden administrations, which are pretty much the same in terms of consent decrees. So DOJ does not publish anything about consent decrees. So we don't know how they select. There are 18,000 law enforcement agencies in the country. In the last 30 years, there have been about 70 consent decrees. We don't know how they choose those cities to go after. We don't know what criteria they use to find a pattern or practice. We don't know who their experts are. They don't publish their experts. We don't even know who writes the reports that find a pattern or practice. They're unsigned reports. So my belief, based on what I've seen nationally over the last few decades, is that it's 100% political. If you look at the cities, there's never been a consent decree in Texas. And it's probably because they know that the local officials would never agree to a consent decree in Texas. Seattle was investigated at the same time as Austin. Austin got a technical assistance letter. Seattle got a consent decree. And so generally more liberal cities with a large group of anti-police activists are generally easier to get compliance with local officials than a more conservative city. So DOJ comes into these more liberal cities that have typically the most progressive police departments. They come in and they say, you're all bad and we have to fix you. And the community rises up, right? They're just like, yes, we've always known the Seattle Police Department is the worst. And now we have the feds coming in to save us.
Right.
So it's a win-win for DOJ to go into these blue cities.
And they also know the cities are looking at like, okay, what do you have for a budget? We can't fight the feds. We don't have the money. Let's just roll over and then eat it. But before they eat it, the gravy train rolls up to put gravy all over it. How much money do you think, Bob Scales, has been spent on the consent decree? And where did that money go?
Well, first of all, people think, this is what most officials think. We don't have the resources to fight the DOJ, right? So let's just sign this consent decree. But the reality is that you don't have to fight the DOJ. The DOJ has the burden of proof. The DOJ has to prove in court that there's a pattern or practice. You could just sit there and do nothing, and DOJ would still have their burden of proof. And there's only one agency that's ever challenged or ever said no to the DOJ. And that was a small county in North Carolina, the Alamance County Sheriff. And he said that the DOJ came in and said, you have a pattern or practice of bias policing, and you have to sign this consent decree. And the sheriff said, nope, not going to do it. So DOJ took him to federal court. DOJ had dozens of lawyers, expert witnesses. Alamance County had one lawyer, one expert witness, and DOJ lost miserably. And every other city has said, yeah, I'll sign it, no problem. And even though they don't have to, they can't be compelled to do it. They have to prove it in court. So the costs are so, what is a consent decree? What is not? I mean, generally your monitor is this is big business, yes. Right? And one of the reasons that the Seattle consent decree lasted so long is because you have private for-profit monitors who are making at least $1 million a year. The Chicago monitor's making more than $4 million a year for writing a few reports. They're accountable to no one. They're paid for by local taxpayers. The federal government doesn't pay a dime. And so you have this disincentive to find compliance because the monitor only gets paid. Like the Seattle monitor now lost a job, right? Because they're in compliance, so he has no more paycheck. So that's why these monitors. But I've seen about 5 years ago, I saw a report in the Seattle Times that said it was about $200 million on the Seattle consent decree, with about $20 million for the monitor. I think it's closer to 250 million now. And it's hard to sort of separate it out exactly because basically this is doing everything that the consent decree requires you to do. Some of that stuff you might have done anyway. The monitor is definitely an add-on from the consent decree. But we had to, in Seattle, it was so crazy. In Seattle, again, we had some of the best policies around, especially for use of force, model policies. We had to rewrite everything. That took about 2 years. And bring in consultants and experts and attorneys and so much time. Taking officers off the street. One of the real costs, especially for Seattle, is down about a third of their officers.
Right.
Pull so many officers off the street to deal with the consent decree and all the administrative burdens of the consent decree and the data collection, et cetera. So that's every city. Public safety has gone down when a consent decree goes into effect.
I saw that there's a study from the Manhattan Institute and from City Journal. They followed each one. Every time a consent decree goes in, the crime goes up. But just as we wrap this thing up, Bob, there were people that were working in the monitor's office that were being paid, I don't know how much, and $600 an hour, hardly doing anything, not even coming in, just simply billing. It was just an open account that just poured money out for this thing for 13 years. It's over. It's done. But for its obituary, you think the total amount from taxpayers is over $250 million?
About 250. I mean, the thing is I read something today that the city said that the total is 173 million. But we're talking a big number, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
It's not peanuts, and that's over 13 years. But it's still you could do a lot with that kind of money. And again, what does Seattle have to show for that 173 to 250 million dollars? What is better now than before? And the thing is that one statistic I've heard is that use of force is down by 60%. Well, from what? I mean, the thing is, it doesn't matter. Use of force is a necessary part of policing. If someone flees or assaults the officer or resists arrest, officers can lawfully use force. The issue isn't, is use of force down 60%? It's down 60% because there aren't any officers to make arrests now. The issue is what percentage of those use of force are unconstitutional? And that's what Matt Hickman was saying, is that there's no evidence we had a problem to begin with. And now you're saying, you fixed a problem that never existed in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, to put a lighter touch on it, it's like that Broadway musical Music Man. You come in, we got problems right here in River City. It's about people playing pool, so he sells everybody a bunch of trombones because that's going to help the whole thing. So, unfortunately, it's a sour note, but it's just one more scar and wound that the city of Seattle has to deal with, because I don't think a lot of people were not being honest about what's really happening with the police department. Bob Scales, thanks so much for spending some more time with us on this one, because as people were celebrating the decree, I said, wait, get Bob on the phone. He'll tell us exactly what was happening behind the scenes. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Let's go to Nate, the Beacon Plumbing. Darn it! Mark it down. Got him. Here's Nate.
All right. And earlier, car fire up at Snoqualmie has your westbound 90 off-ramp to westbound 18 still closed as fire crews clean up the scene. Now, drivers, you can still access Snoqualmie Parkway. Bellevue to Everett has jumped to an hour, 15 minutes. It is thick between 520 and 527 now. Seattle to Everett still at 1 hour. Your backup starts near 520 and rolls all the way through Linwood. This difference is you're moving at a good pace through most of this backup, unlike our 405 backup. Linwood to Seattle is at a half hour. You've got a 2-mile backup still in Linwood, and then packed at about 80th down to I-90. North 5 bumper to bumper from the north end of Boeing Field into downtown. Bellevue to South Center, we're down a little bit to 35 minutes. It is heavy, though, at 520 all the way to the VMAC. And we've got a new crash. It's westbound 90 just before East Mercer Way. It's taken up the left general purpose lane. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Then you gotta check out The Reset. Hey, it's G. Scott, and every week, me and my co-host and Seahawks great Brandon Meebane talk Seahawks. We break down the matchups, and we're joined by former Seahawks players
from Lakewood to Lombardi.
Seahawks champion, my main man, Jermaine Kearse.
What up, G?
Watch The Reset live on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
John Curley here for Longevity Medical Clinic. I have to tell you, I don't know where I would be in my life without Longevity Medical Clinic. I've been a patient for 15 years. It's so easy to get started. Schedule a free health analysis appointment online with LongevityMedicalClinic.com. During your visit, you're going to spend a full hour with your doctor to craft a comprehensive health plan tailored to your exact needs and lifestyle. I've been able to reduce my risk for serious disease like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Longevity will help you plan for long-term well-being and personalized healthcare. The approach is really simple. It's proactive. It focuses on prevention, going beyond the traditional model of just merely managing your symptoms and treating conditions as they arise. Let's face it, just because you're getting older, we're all getting older, it doesn't mean you have to fall apart. Get started with your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. That's LongevityMedicalClinic.com. Again, that's LongevityMedicalClinic.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on OpenSignal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. Inside a Utah jail today, the man accused of assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk made a virtual court appearance.
State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
The 22-year-old Robinson faces 7 charges, including aggravated murder. Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty. CBS's Scott McFarland reports charging documents allege Robinson confessed to killing Kirk in a text message to his partner.
Some of those text messages are vivid in their allegations and in their color. You can see these messages exchanged between a person and his roommate, allegedly with the roommate questioning, when did you start planning this? Did you do this alone?
Robinson is due back in court September 29th. Well, it is not just pain at the pump these days. Drivers here say they are also fed up with paying the highest prices for gas in the country. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
According to AAA, Washington drivers are paying on average $4.66 for a gallon of gas. That's 47% higher than the national average. Drivers like Richard Mayo say high gas prices lead to tough decisions about ever-tightening family budgets.
Hopefully they do something soon here in Seattle with the gas prices. I know, dang, it's not that high in New York. You can go to Detroit and Chicago, the gas prices ain't nowhere near it. It's almost $6.
Some relief is on the way as we transition back to winter gasoline by the end of this month. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Yet another history-making swing for Cal Raleigh.
Number 55 for Cal. Already the all-time single-season home run catcher king, and now the most ever in a single season for a switch hitter.
Yeah, Raleigh surpasses Mickey Mantle for most homers by a switch hitter. He is now just one behind Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners' single-season record for home runs. And the M's offense is cooking again tonight. It's currently up 7-0 over the Kansas City Royals in the third inning. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 5:34. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, Bellevue to Everett plan on an hour or 10 minutes. It's thick between 520 and 527 in Canyon Park. Once you hit 527, you're going to clear out right away. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes. Your backup starts near 520, goes all the way through Linwood. Linwood to Seattle's a half hour. Still got about a 2-mile backup in Linwood, and then you're packed at 80th down to I-90. North 5, bumper to bumper from the north end of Boeing Field into downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, it's 25 minutes on 520. We're at 35 minutes on I-90, but we did just clear that stall westbound 90 near East Mercer Way. Bellevue to South Center is down to 35 minutes. It's heavy, though, from 520 to the VMAX still. Up at Snoqualmie, westbound 90, your off-ramp to westbound 18 remains closed as fire crews clean up from an earlier car fire. Drivers can still access Snoqualmie Parkway, however. And on days like this, remember, keep an eye out for motorcycles. And the Storm have a 6:30 playoff game at Climate Pledge Arena. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Hot tonight. We are cooling off for tomorrow, though. Temperatures back into the 70s, along with better air quality. Right now, looking at 90 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh my goodness. Latini, get ready. She loves spinning the big wheel, the Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe wheel. There we go, Teeny. I see it. She fixed it. Landed on Teeny. All right, so this is where one of us gets to give a Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe, what they like to do with the eggs. Teeny, it's landed on you. And your answer is?
I know exactly what is going to happen. Potato.
All right, there we go. Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipes available for you. Oh, they're on it. .com. Okay. All right, if you're suffering one of the five losses, this is like, for instance, life setbacks, investment problems, family problems, that could be, divorce or something, mental disorders, 1, 2, 3, 4, I forget the other one is. There's another one in there.
Emotional imbalance.
Right. Then this affects everybody, right? Look at the United States, think of anybody. So have you ever had have you had the 5? If you got the 5, would you like the fact that the government would then come to you and say, hey, we noticed you're having some financial problems and you got divorced and you're having some mental health issues. It looks like you need some help. So somebody from the government would come in and help you. Might talk to your creditors and say, hey, can the guy pay, a little less every single month? You can take the interest off. Might go ahead and try to talk to your family members. Might try to pay for counseling for you. Might do the things that you need to do in order to get yourself back up on your feet again. Would you like that type of thing? So most people are like, yeah, that's kind of nice that you had the government come in and provide these services to get you, fully functioning and to be part of society again. Well, that's what they have, and they've had it since 2023 in China. The Central Society Workers Department. The people that are working for it are police and state security workers. And basically the reason they set this thing up is because the communist country, Xi doesn't like any kind of problems that could start. He says small problems don't leave the village, because if they leave the village, then the person becomes, detached from the structure of the society they have in China, and they might become domestic terrorists, because you can have examples of people that have suffered all sorts of problems, and then all of a sudden they get in their car and run down 35 people, or they get in their car and kill 17. So what they do there in China is they look for indicators, and they've been tracking people. They can easily see your debts. They have all their information about everybody there. And they see when things start to go wrong. They're reading your text messages, they read your emails, they know what's going on in your life, and they swoop in there to stop it from spreading. So they try to stop the people that are experiencing the loss, so that they don't become terrorists, so they don't sort of break apart and bust up society. Because the big thing they're mostly concerned with is they are trying to keep centralized public order. Because when you got more than 1 billion people, you can't have folks rising up. So they think, well, if we can go in there and fix the small problems, they don't become bigger problems. And then everybody else doesn't go, hey, this sucks here. We don't like this. What do you do for me? So it really is a way of controlling everybody, so that people don't get out of control. But that's the way it works when they have this spiritual living, spiritual civilization is the name of it. And they go into some small little communities and they say, hey, we're going to have a party for everybody. We'll provide food and music. Isn't this great? Don't you all feel great that we are coming in and helping you? At first you'd be like, I don't mind the party part of it, but like, what's in it in the end? Well, what they're just trying to do is they just need to keep everybody under control. It's about control. It's really not about solving the one person's problem. They don't want the one person to have to start to create problems for the other people. So it is, you give up all of the freedom, but you end up having security provided for you by the good people there in China.
Yeah, they don't want you comparing notes with somebody else who's going through a tough time, and then you decide, wait a minute, it's not just me. This is the whole village.
No, because if everybody remains passive and, content, then people are not, there's no mutiny on the bounty. You don't have anybody going, hey, wait a minute, this whole thing is rigged against me. Get back into your house before you weld you in there because of COVID.
Well, another interesting thing that they mentioned in this article is that they found that with gig workers, and they have a huge gig economy like Uber drivers and, DoorDash and all that stuff. Yeah. They were starting to get pretty depressed because their pay wasn't much. And so what they decided to do is like, hey, well, we're going to give you, we're going to expand your duties as a gig driver. So we're going to pay you a little bit more money, but while you're delivering food and, picking people up and giving them rides, you're also going to spy on everybody and tell us if you see anybody that seems like they're a little blue or under, a little disenfranchised, and just, report back.
And then they give you money. They get extra bonus and stuff. So if somebody's in your car and you're talking to them, you're the Uber driver, and you're like, hey, how's life going? You know, if you learned anything interesting about yourself today, the guy says he's depressed, they'll know where you are. They can track all that sort of stuff. You know, I read through the article twice, and the first time I read it, I thought, it makes sense, right? It does help. But at the same time, when you give up freedom for security, you end up with neither, right? Because someone will determine how free you can possibly be. And in a free society, you can have people go off the deep end and it affects the rest of us. But would you want to give that up? So if you could, because they always say that if you really wanted to get rid of all Ottawas, and 36,000 people die on the highways every single year, they said if the government really wanted to save all of those lives, because every life is precious, every life matters, right? Then the true speed limit would be on our highways about 7 to 8 miles an hour. But they're not willing to do that because, well, first of all, you'd have to enforce it. 2, it would stop the entire commerce of the United States because it would take so long. We go back to the wagon train to get something from point A to point B. But if we really wanted to save lives, so they take into equation, okay, how many lives are we willing to lose in order for everybody else to be able to get some product delivered from the warehouse to their house? Well, let's go 55 miles or 65 miles an hour on the highway. Well, we're going to lose 36,000 people. Yeah, but I really want those strawberries. So that's what happens. If you really wanted to save everybody, you'd do that. If you really want to save everybody, we would fill in all swimming pools. You know, we would take everybody's gun away, everybody's gun. So it wouldn't just be the guy, the law-abiding citizen. It would be everybody, including the criminals. They would have to lose their guns as well. But they're never going to be able to do that because no one's going to give up the guns, because when you take guns away from law-abiding citizens, only the outlaws would have guns because it's the tool that they need in order to get whatever you've got that they haven't earned. All righty. Nate?
Yes, sir. Bellevue to Everett, plan on an hour, 15 minutes. Your backups now starts in mid-Bellevue all the way into Bothell, but it gets really thick there, 520 up to 522. Seattle to Everett continues to improve with every report. We're down to a 50-minute drive now. Still slow, though, from the U District through Linwood. Linwood to Seattle is a half hour. You're still looking at a 2-mile backup in Linwood, and then you're packed at 85th down to I-90. North 5 is bumper to bumper from the north end of Boeing Field into downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're at a half hour now on both 520 and I-90. Bellevue to Renton's at 35 minutes. It's packed from Southeast 8th to Cold Creek Parkway. From there, you'll thin out. Seattle to Federal Way is a half hour. And up in Snoqualmie, westbound 90, the off-ramp to westbound 18 remains closed as fire crews clean up this earlier car fire. Drivers, you can still access the Snoqualmie Parkway off-ramp right next to it. And again, the Storm have a 6:30 playoff game at Climate Pledge Arena tonight. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Seattle's Morning News.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor. Hope you can join us tomorrow morning.
We've told you about a push to bring AI to the classroom.
Denise Gosnell is the author of Tech Confidential and a co-founder of an AI startup. She's going to give us some insight into navigating AI as a parent.
Sully, of course, has traffic every 10 minutes.
Mariners on the road to the playoffs. We'll have the highlights from Kansas City.
5 to 9, Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
You know that feeling when your home finally feels organized? That's exactly what Closets by Design gave me. And let me tell you, it is a game changer and a marriage saver. If your closets are bursting at the seams, it's time to call the pros at Closets by Design Seattle. Every job is completely custom. They don't design or use pre-made, predefined, standardized parts like many of their competitors, which can lead to designs that aren't truly maximizing your space. No, with Closets by Design, it's the highest grade products in the industry. Free in-home design consultation. Affordable luxury is the best way to put it. Right now, they're offering big savings up to 40% off, plus an additional 15% off with 18 months financing and free installation. Locally owned, nationally trusted, you're getting the quality and the backing of a national brand, but with friendly local Seattle service. Go to closetsbydesign.com. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule your free in-home design consultation today.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Yes, sir. Here we go with the John Curley Show. Lots of good stuff coming up, aren't you? Let's see. That's all good. All right. Oh, hey, everybody there on the YouTube. You get
Where's your pumpkin?
Where did that thing go?
Ah.
That's all right. I don't know where that went. Oh, it's probably over there. All right, ready? Point the toe towards the target. throat. Oh, it's a little outside. High outside ball, too.
Getting a lot better.
Socialism failing as it always does. So this story, this is kooky. This guy, he's in Van Nuys, thank you, California. And his neighbor, let him explain here. Imagine this. You're a neighbor, and this is constantly blowing.
Peaceful tree-lined Peach Street in Van Nuys sounds more like a train station because of one neighbor who's been blasting a daily symphony of both his home alarm and train horns.
He does this periodically, several times during the day. It only shuts off when the air runs out because it's blasted by air. Then he turns it back on. It has a range of 3.5 miles. It is an actual train horn.
Residents along the 6600 block of Peach Street say this has been going on for months. Every time the police show up like they did today, the guy turns it off. His name is Gary Boyajian, and he's lived here for years. He admits he's doing it on purpose.
I want justice to be served.
Boyajian says he has a long-running beef with LAPD's Van Nuys division based on his personal life, and the loud sirens are his way of getting the department's attention.
I do sincerely apologize to my neighbors. I honestly, to God, I'm so sorry to discomfort you guys in your own homes. But I don't know what else to do.
Oh, there's an update as of about 6 hours ago. What happened, Joe?
Ready? Are we going through the same thing again? Tell me! Tell me!
His arrest nearly as loud as the blaring horns that brought LAPD here in the first place.
He was just yelling right away. So we're like, oh, there's no missing that when he's yelling and screaming. Hear that from a mile away.
Gary Boyajian taken into custody Wednesday night after months of countless complaints from his neighbors for this. Deafening train horns that were placed high on a tree in his backyard. And if it wasn't the horn, it was his house alarm, also intentionally set off.
Okay, here's why. He said he continued to blare the sirens. He claims the mafia is trying to kill him, and the L.A. Police Department is aiding in the plot. Okay.
It's a nice neighborhood, too, by the way.
Instead of a horn, it could be cuckoo,
yes.
cuckoo. He just wants justice. No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace for anybody.
It's that weird thing, like you're living right next to the guy, but he's thinking that the mafia is trying to kill him and the police are involved in something somehow.
Months of that, I'd have set his house on fire.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Blame the mafia.
Mafia on the place burning down. All right, checking traffic for us. Nate.
Yipper, Bellevue to Everett, we're down to 1 hour, still backed up from 520 up to 527, and it is just bumper to bumper through Kirkland. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes. You're slow from the U District through Linwood. Linwood to Seattle, we're down to 25 minutes. Just a little crowding left in Linwood, and then it's packed from Lake City Way to I-90. North 5, still thick from the north end of Boeing Field into downtown. South Center to Seattle is a half-hour drive. That's a 10-minute delay. Bellevue to Renton, you're down to 25 minutes. You're still heavy, though, from mid-Bellevue down to the VMAC in Renton. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is down to 35 minutes. And up in Snoqualmie, we've opened up a lane westbound 90 at the off-ramp to westbound 18, so you can now access that. The left lane remains blocked by our earlier car fire. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Now that's how you do it.
He's going left side. He's got some blocking. He turns upfield. He's down inside the 5. Touchdown! Seahawks!
We're all in a good mood this morning because of all the great sports action yesterday.
An impressive road victory in Pittsburgh earns the Hawks their first win on the season.
I mean, taking care of business. What'd you say?
Yesterday's game gave me more hope in what we can do as a team. I love this.
The 12s hear the Hawks right here on KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Millions of Americans use credit cards to purchase goods every day. The Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates put the secure transactions you rely on at risk, leaving you vulnerable to hackers and foreign cybercriminals that want your data. Hackers win, you lose. Guard your card before it's too late. Tell Congress your data security is not for sale and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service. Really? Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 10/21/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of one unlimited intra-line applied via 12 monthly internet bill credits. One discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data and service series. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Q1 to Q2 2025.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck's about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he sells it for free. Go to MeetTheNovaks.com. That's MeetTheNovaks, NOVAKS.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma.